place of Tanaka and Ritsu Doan, who has been a goal-scoring hero in both of those incredible wins against Germany and Spain, gets a start with young Takifusa Kubo missing this game this evening. Perisic has headed the ball on. It's crossed in by Kovacic, and there's some very early defending for Japan to do. The ball bounces over the head of their centre forward, Daisen Maeda, and Croatia pick up possession just inside the Japanese half. Two changes for them, one enforced. The left back, Borna Sosa, is out ill for this game, so Borna Barisic of Rangers plays at left back, and the change up front that I was mentioning, Bruno Petkovic, the Dinamo Zagreb centre forward, comes in for Marco Levaya. We are 30 seconds in, we are underway, and I can see the Japanese manager Hajime Moriyasu already has the notebook out and he is scribbling. He has sprung some surprises in this tournament in terms of rotating the team, in terms of making the changes at half-time, in terms of his team playing in bursts and stunning teams, and Maeda's won an early free kick. On the left wing for Japan, early thoughts from Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah, well, you can see Japan, how they intend to play this game. When Croatia, they've had the ball, they started the game, they straight away went 5 at the back. So it's got to be similar to what they did against Spain and, of course, Germany. But they have a free kick now in a promising position.
Free kick midway inside the Croatian half on the left. Doan whips the ball in with his left foot. That is a fabulous delivery. And Kamada can't quite get on the end of it at the far post. That beat everyone inside the penalty area. Ito crosses with his right foot. That is blocked by Barisic, and Japan win the first corner of the game. What
a really good delivery that was. Croatia defended this free kick very, very high up, maybe 4 or 5 yards outside the box, and the ball was swung in between the incoming defense and the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper no chance, but no Japanese player at the end of that. Any touch, it would have gone in.
Corner then for Japan. Good start for them. Junya Ito wears number 14, hands on his hips, couple of yards from the ball, plays a low one to the corner of the box. First time cross comes in from Endo, and it's headed just wide, and Japan are inches away from taking the lead in this game. That was close.
That was really, really close. Again, well-worked corner kick. That's something we've seen a lot in this tournament. Corner kicks, how they work on the training pitch. It was passed back, not in first time, and that was crossed in, and it was just inches from going in by the 5 post.
Yeah, that was the middle of the back three. Shogo Taniguchi with the header, and then Maeda. He is brilliant at that for Celtic, flying in with a challenge on the goalkeeper Dominik Livakovic. He does not give you a moment's rest. The ball's come off him and gone behind for a goal kick. So here's your Japan team for this one. Shuichi Gonda is the goalkeeper. 3 centre-backs, Takehiro Tomiyasu, Shogo Taniguchi, and the captain, Maya Yoshida, the former Southampton defender, now playing at Schalke. Junya Ito, the right wing-back. Yuto Nagatomo, making a 15th World Cup appearance for Japan this evening. He's the left wing-back. Wataru Endo, Hidemasa Morita of Sporting in central midfield. Doan Kamada and Maeda up front. Japan have got to watch out for this little fella. Luka Modric tries a low ball into their penalty area. It's blocked and it goes out for a throw into Croatia.
Yeah, Japan, they've started really well. There's a lot of energy in what they're doing. They are putting pressure on Croatia right from the goalkeeper. We saw that goalkeeper was tackled, he went out for a goal kick, and they're just trying to frustrate the Croatian players, who hasn't settled down yet.
Bright moon shining above the stadium, throwing into the Japanese penalty area. Perisic tried to get the flick on. The ball is cleared and Lovren is able to collect it. Plays it across to the 20-year-old Josko Gvardiol of RB Leipzig. We're having a good chat about him ahead of this game. One of the most impressive young performers at this tournament. Kramaric battling for the ball on the edge of the Japan penalty area. Japan managed to clear into the Croatian half, and there is Gvardiol. So Croatia have Livakovic in goals. Zlatko Dalic hasn't liked to tinker too much during this tournament. Josip Juranovic of Celtic at right back. Borna Barisic of Rangers at left back. Dejan Lovren and Josko Gvardiol, the 2 centre-backs. Modric, Brozovic and Kovacic. Trips off the tongue. Kramaric, Perisic and Bruno Petkovic is the centre-forward who's not scored in his last 16 internationals for Croatia, but they're looking for a little bit more firepower up front. But 4 past Canada, weren't able to score against Morocco or Belgium. Plenty of Croatian possession, we expected that. We're 4.5 minutes in on BBC Radio 5 Live. Peter Schmeichel for company. in this last 16 tie, Japan against Croatia. Japan chasing, working hard, forcing Croatia back into their own half. Here's Lovren in his orange boots across to Gvardiol, under pressure from Doan, but easily worked out to the left-hand side. And Barisic is able to make a few yards inside left channel. Modric runs into a little bit of space. 4 blue shirts suddenly swarm around him. Chance for Yoshida to clear. Down by the byline. Clearance takes a slight deflection. Here's Modric, 30 yards from goal. Kovacic ahead of him, just left the ball behind him. Japan will try and bring it out with Doan down the right-hand side. Croatia win it back.
Yeah, this is what Croatia they have to do. They have to keep the ball. They have to make spaces for each other and just pass it around first time. Because as we can see here from the first 5 minutes, Japan, their intent to put pressure on every area of the pitch, and they're doing it quite well. But the few moments where Croatia's actually passed the ball around, they've created space for each other.
Trying to do that now with little Juranovic, Celtic's Juranovic on the right-hand side. Plays the ball wide. Here's Modric in that inside right channel. Loses out in the 50-50. Japan will try and counter. Ball is swung quickly across field to Junya Ito. Support on the outside from Doan. He tried to play a ball infield towards Maeda. It was blocked and it goes out for a Japan throw on the right.
We're all looking at Luka Modric to do something, to show himself for what we know he can do. But he's had the ball 3 times in this game so far, and he's lost the ball every 3 times. But what was really good to see here was he lost the ball near the Japanese penalty box, and he sprinted back to defend. 37 years of age, he's still got that bit.
8th major tournament for Luka Modric. Tonight, 159th cap for his country, and of course the standout performer at the last World Cup, even though Croatia lost that final. He was the winner of the golden ball at the end of the tournament. Tomiyasu launches a throw down the right-hand side, but no teammate on the same wavelength, so that goes straight behind for a goal kick. Japan 0, Croatia 0, 7 minutes played. This game live on BBC One this afternoon, so it's just gone 3 o'clock in the afternoon in the UK. If you're at work, then BBC Sounds app, a very good way to go if you can sneak it on the desk, plug the headphones in and have a listen to us. If you can get the pictures as well on BBC One, via the iPlayer, if you look for World Cup Extra and you want our commentary with the TV pictures, you can get it. Perisic onto a loose ball inside the Japanese penalty area, tight angle, blocked by Gondo. The ball's bouncing loose on the edge of the 6-yard box. Japan get enough bodies in the way and they escape. Important save from Gonda from the Perisic shot. It was Tomiyasu who initially gave the ball away.
Yeah, it all came from a goal kick. Likavic, he kicked it up, and it was a mistake by Tomiyasu. He was trying to pass it back to his goalkeeper, but it was a really, really bad touch. And Perisic was presented with a, mind you, from an acute angle, but with a chance. He should have passed the ball back, should have grabbed it back. But he went for the shot. Good save by the goalkeeper, and then it was a little bit of a scramble, and the goalkeeper ended up having the ball in his hand in the end.
Here's Kamada for Japan, plays the ball wide to the left-hand side to Nagatomo. Nagatomo has Juranovic just backpedaling, looking for Maeda on the corner of the area. The pass is not good enough, goes straight through to Livakovic. Peter was mentioning the save that Shuichi Gonda made in the win against Germany. I think Japan were leading. Were they leading at the time? No, they were 1 down, weren't they, Peter? Yeah, and they would
Germany
have gone 2 down.
One
That's
up,
right.
And they were pushing, and they were hitting
right.
the post, and then he made 4 saves in 1 move, which for me has changed the fortunes of Japan. From that moment on, the whole game changed, the dynamics changed, and of course 5 minutes later they're 1-1, and then we all knew they scored again.
9 minutes gone first half, so first chance goes to Croatia. Ivan Perisic is on the run again. That ball over the top of the Japanese defence. Can't catch it, he stops his run and it bounces into the arms of the goalkeeper. Perisic, in terms of individual milestones, had he been able to stick that ball away, is on 9 goals in major tournaments for his country. That is level with the great Davor Schuker, who won the Golden Boot at France 98. 6 of his came in the World Cup. 5 of Perisic's have come in the World Cup, but he's got 4 in the Euros as well. So when he scores another one, if he scores another one, he becomes his country's record scorer in major tournaments. Ball back with Croatia's goalkeeper. Dominik Livakovic is all in green. Peter Schmeichel?
Yeah, that's an interesting duel, by the way. Tomiyasu up against Perisic. It's Arsenal against Tottenham. And so far, the Tottenham player has got the better. I wonder what that's going to do to Tomiyasu's confidence, having made a mistake like that so early in the game. And of course, it was saved by the goalkeeper. But is he going to be nervous? He's not played so much in this World Cup.
Yeah, two substitute appearances so far. Good point. This is his first start, and he very nearly cost Japan early on. Ball is out for a Japan throw, halfway line on the left-hand side. Talking Arsenal fans, there was one who approached Peter in the media cafe ahead of the game and said, very nice to meet you, Peter, but I've never forgiven you for saving Dennis Bergkamp's penalty in the FA Cup semi-final in 1999. Now, if you had a penny, Peter, for every Arsenal fan that had ever said that to you, you'd be a very rich man.
Yes.
Great save,
it's one of them, isn't it? But yeah, you know what? I go back to that game, and I know we can't talk too much about, but that is, of all the games I've played in my life, those two semi-finals are the most interesting ones.
Really? Header away on the edge of the Japanese penalty area from Taniguchi. Now, he went close to scoring at the start of this game. Japan try and bring the ball out with Morita, who plays his club football for Sporting in Portugal. Modric nearly threads one through for Kovacic. The ball comes back to Modric. Bouncing ball, he just cushions a pass out to the left. Barisic is going to swing an early cross into the box. Perisic somehow manages to control. Overhead kicks a pass towards Modric on the edge of the box. Now this is where Japan will try and counter quickly from inside their own half. Play to the right to Junya Ito. Ito back to Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu makes a sure touch there, a crisp pass. That'll make him feel a little bit better. Across to his skipper, Yoshida. Now Taniguchi. Taniguchi drives the diagonal ball out to the right-hand side. Here's Ito. Nice first touch, right on the halfway line, wide on the right under the nose of his manager. And Tomiyasu into Endo, then Maeda comes deep with a little layoff. Doan sweeps the pass out low to his right-hand side. Ito, good ball, Maeda nearly on the end of it. And it's cleared behind by Juranovic, who got clattered as he made the challenge. Is it going to be a corner, or is it going to be a free kick for the challenge on Juranovic? It might be.
We don't know what this referee is thinking. He's the guy who gave Ronaldo that awarded Ronaldo that penalty that never was. So we don't know with this guy. I'm actually amazed that he's still in this World Cup. But there you go. But that was really a fantastic cross. It was low in between defenders and goalkeeper, and two Japanese players. He was stretching for it. Both of them missed it. I don't know what he's done here. I think he's given a free kick.
He has, I think. Well, unless it was goal kick, unless the last touch came off Nagatomo, who was attacking it on the left-hand side. I'm not sure, but...
No, we're not sure about this referee.
No. 12 and a half minutes gone. First half, Japan-Croatia. First of two commentaries in the last 16 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds this afternoon. Brazil against South Korea to follow. Tomiyasu knocked off the ball by Perisic. So Tottenham beats Arsenal again in that challenge. Here's Modric. Crosses the halfway line. Plays wide to his right-hand side. Support comes from Brozovic in central midfield. Trying to play through the middle. Good interception from Endo. Endo sprints forward. Japan find Doan in the centre circle. And this time it's Petkovic who comes thundering back, the big centre forward, to win the ball. Knocks Doan over. No free kick. Clean challenge. And Kovacic is able to play a little 1-2 with Brozovic.
Yeah, the game is going... It's a little scrappy at the moment. And I think one of the reasons for that is that Croatia are not fully committed to attack. They keep 4 players back at the pitch at all times because they know if they lose the ball, they know how quickly that Japan can turn the game. So it's a bit cautious from Croatia, at least in the beginning of the game.
The 2 Japan wins against Germany and Spain were obviously coming from behind in those games, but in this game, been chances at either end. Japan could easily have scored twice. Perisic has gone close for Croatia. Croatia attacking down the right. Here's Kramaric, support from Juranovic, played back to Modric. Little pass to his left finds Brozovic. Brozovic sees 3 blue shirts in front of him, can only play straight across to the left to Barisic. Runs towards Barisic, gets the ball back, swings a pass back to the halfway line. Lovren gives it straight back to Brozovic. Brozovic, little 1-2 with Kovacic. Japanese players lurking. Maeda starts to put the pressure on. Gvardiol plays it forward. Now Kovacic sees an opportunity to open it up to the right-hand side. Nagatomo leaps, heads the ball away, and Modric plays it back into his own half.
Japan, as soon as Croatia, they've got the ball, Japan goes 5 at the back. And then Morita sits right in front of that and protects that.
Run from Kramaric down the right-hand side, and I think he's got enough to get there in time and keep this ball in play. Followed out there by Taniguchi. Cross comes in with his left foot. It's a deep one, headed down by Ito. Important that Endo was there to clear on the half volley with his left foot. So Japan sitting inside their own half, and Croatia with Perisic turn and bring the ball back towards them. 15 minutes played. Japan 0, Croatia 0. Lovren sprints forward, looks for that ball over the top to Modric. Takes it down on his chest, and the linesman waves his flag and says offside. A handball, he says. And Modric doesn't agree. Modric shakes his head. Peter Schmeichel will have a little look at us, look for us on the monitor.
I'm not sure. It looks like a fantastic touch on his chest. Very, very difficult ball. He's running with the ball. It's coming behind him, and he takes it. I think that's a mistake by the linesman. But it could, from his angle, could have looked like a handball.
Ito's ball back. I think that took a deflection. Yes, it did, which enabled Shuichi Gonda to scamper across his byline. Japanese goalkeeper, all in yellow, picked the ball up. And now Japan play out to the left with Taniguchi initially. High driven ball across to the right. Ito traps it under the studs of his right boot. Doan is there, plays it back to Arsenal's Tomiyasu. Endo into midfield, quickly forward by Morita. Kamada, always dangerous, the Frankfurt man bringing it forward. Support on the outside from Nagatomo. Nagatomo cuts back onto his right foot. Another good ball into the box. Maeda jumps for it. Can't get a clean header on it. Barisic volleys it straight up in the air, and then Doan can't control it. It bounces off him, and it goes behind for a goal kick.
Japan has put in a couple of very, very good, very dangerous crosses, and it's only a matter of time before somebody gets on the end of that, and they are of the quality that it only needs a touch, and it will go in. And I think Croatia really need to work on stopping those crosses from coming in. We've seen 2 from the left-hand side, with 3 from the right-hand side, and that's too many in a game of this magnitude, if you like.
Petkovic easily robbed on the halfway line. It's Peter Schmeichel with us on 5 Live this afternoon. Japan 0, Croatia 0. Taniguchi with the early header went very close for Japan. The centre forward in that attack. Maeda very nearly converting the right wing cross, and then Doan is caught by Gvardiol. It's about 35 yards out, central position, free kick Japan.
It amazes me that he's not getting a yellow card for that challenge. That was a bad challenge. And it gives Japan now an opportunity. Mind you, it's 40 yards from goal, but it's an opportunity. It's a set piece. It's a standard situation. And as we've seen before from this game, the first corner they work on this. This is an opportunity for Japan.
Yeah, I think with Japan at this World Cup, not to rule anything out. They have had a stunning tournament. Wins against Germany and Spain in the group stages. Trying to make it 3 European scalps in the tournament, trying to get through to the quarterfinals of the World Cup for the first time in their history. Kamada of Frankfurt is standing over the ball. Nagatomo's in front of him. They've worked something clever here. Cross is flicked into the penalty area. Gvardiol heads it away. Nagatomo leaps early there, climbs over the back of Modric. Both players fall over. Doan lobs the ball into the edge of the box, and eventually the assistant referee puts the flag up for an offside, and Croatia get a free kick.
Yeah, they tried to do something they worked on the training pitch. It didn't really work. It was quite clever the way they thought it out, but it was a short ball into someone who came running back, and he should have crossed the ball back into the box, but the quality of that cross wasn't there. Japan 0,
Croatia 0. So Brazil, South Korea is our commentary at 7 o'clock this evening with Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton. 2 more last 16 games tomorrow. Morocco, Spain in full at 3 o'clock for you, and then Portugal, Switzerland, the last of the last 16 ties. That's a 7 o'clock commentary tomorrow on 5 Live Sport and BBC Sounds as Japan clear the ball up to the halfway line. Morita lobs it forward. Lovren is there and gets that past Juranovic wrong, and it goes straight out for a throw-in to Japan. Nagatomo wants to take that quickly, so he shouts to the ball boy there to sling him a ball. Japan have the ball back in play, attacking the goal away to our right-hand side in this very distinctive Al Janoub Stadium. Pacey pass to Ito. Ito's got the pace to beat Barisic. Another great cross in. Livakovic this time off his line to grab it.
That's cross number 6, and he wasn't stopped again. But Ito, he's got so much pace. and he just ran past the player there and crossed the ball. Again, it was low. So that's a third cross they've crossed in low now, which, you know, you have to think that's deliberate. That's something that they worked on and thought out, that, you know, with this team, you've got to cross it in low.
They're just looking for that touch from the centre forward, Dyson Maeda. Just one goal for his country. Doesn't score a boatload for Celtic, but that's what they're looking for. Gvardiol, good passer from the back. Juranovic controls it on the volley. First touch gets away from him. Here come Japan again, inside their own half. Kamada looking for the run of Nagatomo. Nagatomo rather fortuitously gets that. Juranovic tried to clear it, and it came off his right boot, and Japan still have it, and they're coming across to the right-hand side. Tomiyasu involved in this attack. Here's Ito again on the right. Crosses keep coming in. Higher one this time. That takes a deflection. Chested down inside the penalty area. Thumped away on the left foot by Barisic. Up towards Petkovic. Challenge from Yoshida, gets the ball, but he comes in from behind. So the referee says free kick Croatia.
Yeah, and this time Ito had the ball, was about to cross it, and Perisic was there. So far Ito has been up against Barisic, the left back who's come in today and started his first game, and it's not been the greatest of starts for him. Ito has been running riots down the right hand side, and he was stopped this time by Perisic, and that, I think, is something they need to work a little bit on. Yeah,
it is a weakness, isn't it? I mean, watching the first, what have we seen, 21 minutes of this game, without Sosa there, with Barisic in their first start in this World Cup. He's the older man, not as quick as Sosa. Japan have seen an opportunity, an avenue there. Here's Yoshida in light blue boots.
They're working on both fullbacks. The fullbacks has not been able to stop the crosses from coming in, and they both look a little bit slow compared to the Japanese players.
Japan seeing quite a lot of the ball in this first half. The rhythmic drumbeat from the Japanese fans away to our left has stopped. Gonda, the goalkeeper, plays out to his left. Morita, pass back to Yoshida. Yoshida plays through the lines up towards Doan. Gvardiol saw that coming. Ran through Doan to win the ball. Took a knock as he did so. He stayed down, so Croatia knocked the ball out of play so he can receive treatment.
That was actually quite well worked by Japan. It was a ball from one of the centre halves up to Ito, but it was read by Gvardiol, and we see why people are you know, raving about him as, you know, the future big defender that every big club in the world will be looking at. It was a good spot. He hurt himself, but he's up now. But that's what they need to do. They've not. So Croatia so far has kept all of their defenders back. They've not come up and stopped those crosses. Oh, sorry, those balls coming from defence. And that has given Japan a little bit of joy, because once they get that in the middle, they've got the options of putting the ball wide, and that has obviously created the crosses. This is something they need to do more. Stop them from midfield.
Japan give the ball back from the throw. In fact, Croatia have a free kick 10-15 yards inside the Japan half. Quite sure why that. I mean,
amazing. He didn't give it. You know, Perisic put the ball out.
Yeah.
He didn't give a free kick.
That's strange. What's going on?
Yeah, he's got different rules to what we know.
Referees now bringing them back, because where Doan accidentally caught Gvardiol was nowhere near where this free kick's being taken from anyway. So slightly confusing. Japan thought they were going to give the ball back to Croatia. Now they've got a set piece to defend, although this free kick is coming from deep, because it's only 10 yards inside the Japan half. Japan 0, Croatia 0. Modric just tucks the hair behind the ears, whips it in with his right foot. Dive header away, and then a strike from Gvardiol from the edge of the box. Gets underneath it. He very nearly puts it up in the second tier of this Al Janoub Stadium goal kick for Japan.
Yeah, he was up there to be at the end of that free kick, and it turned out the ball didn't go his way, but it came to his left foot, and he was totally out of balance, and I don't think that ball's come down yet.
Won't surprise you to learn Gvardiol's nickname is Little Pep. Here is Yoshida to his right to Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu launches it forward. Maeda wins the header. Doan won't catch that. All the way through to Livakovic, who's got the ball at his feet, the Croatian goalkeeper. Incredible win in the first test in Rawalpindi for England's cricketers earlier on today. Test match special podcast will be certainly worth the listen, although I know, having chatted to Peter briefly in the car about the cricket, Peter won't be downloading that. Not Not a huge fan of the cricket, but I can assure you, Peter, it was a stunning win. England won it by 74 runs, and the next test will start on Friday. Ball by ball commentary on.
Yeah, but you know, I mean no
Extra.
disrespect, but just sit and watch something that goes on forever for 5 days, you know, and then it's a draw.
Yeah,
it's an agreed draw.
Yeah,
it kind of
yeah. It was a thrilling finish as the sun was coming down. And here's a ball through, and I tell you what, that might make its way through to Petkovic, and here's a chance for Croatia, trying to get it back onto his right foot. Can't find Perisic. Croatia waste the chance, which almost came out of nothing. Straight ball down the middle of the pitch. Japan was snoozing, Petkovic was in, and Croatia, they did stick 4 past Canada in this tournament, but again, that just sort of shows you that the lack of that sort of clinical finish.
Yeah, but talking about wasting opportunities there, first of all, he looks a little bit slow, and I can understand. He was inside the box when he received the ball on the left-hand side. Have a shot. But what he did, he stopped the ball, and then he's trying to be clever, put the ball through the legs of the defender who stopped. And he had 2 other options. He could have rolled it back. You got to take. I mean, we're at a stage in the tournament where it's important to take every opportunity, exploit every little bit of weakness that your opponents are giving you. We've already seen 2 mistakes, if you like, from the Japanese defense, and they've been nowhere near scoring.
No, Croatia's 2 chances in the game have come from Japanese mistakes. Japan have been more threatening and causing more trouble down the end away to our right. That's the end they're attacking. Left back Nagatomo plays back to the goalkeeper Shuichi Gonda, clears with his right foot. Doan is beaten in the air by Gvardiol. Here is Kovacic, speeds to the ball. Clever little flick with the outside of his right boot. Forward to Perisic. Back with Barisic. Barisic to Gvardiol. And Gvardiol across to Dejan Lovren. Hugely experienced international footballer, winning his 76th cap for Croatia this evening. It's been a good partnership for Croatia. Just 4 goals conceded in qualifying. Just the 1 goal conceded at this tournament so far, which was the Alphonso Davies header against Canada. And now here's their little magic man Modric. Lovely turn, plays the ball into Brozovic, charging forward down the right, pokes it back to Kovacic. Kovacic in the centre circle inside the Japanese half, low to his left finds Barisic. Perisic runs towards him, lets the ball go through his legs. Not collected the other side, and here's Doan battling for the ball for Japan. Bobbling pass forward, easily dealt with by Gvardiol into the feet of Brozovic. Modric just drops deeper. There's that trademark pass with the outside of the right boot. Wonderful ball. Perisic catches it, crosses it on the bounce. It's just over the head of the 2 players inside the penalty area. Juranovic with another cross into the far post. That's beyond Petkovic as well. Chance for another cross, though, for Croatia. Barisic takes 1 touch. Right out by that touchline on the left. Flicked headed to the far post. Very nearly stuck in by Kramaric. And it could be another cross coming in right away. No, Juranovic goes deep to Modric. Here comes that next cross. Far post. Perisic attacks it. Japan deal with it. Volleyed away. And that'll eventually go out for a Croatian throw.
And it all came from a fantastic outside of the foot pass from Modric. It had a little bit too much pace on it for Perisic to sort of control it, so his cross wasn't great. It went all the way past the goal, and then the cross came back in. But what a chance. It was flicked on, and what a chance. It could have been 1-0 Croatia.
He's the master, isn't he, Peter, this fella Modric, of that pass in particular, that outside of the boot. He's been very quiet, I think, all the way throughout this World Cup. He's been very quiet, and all in this game as well. But when he's on the ball, something happens. Petkovic, the centre forward, has it on the left. Yoshida is backing off, plays back to Perisic. Perisic takes a touch. Doan is back there helping out for Japan. Croatia take it back down the left-hand touchline. Brozovic looking for the run of Modric. Tomiyasu has it covered, heads it away. And Croatia will let that ball run out of play for a throw-in. So 28 minutes gone in the first half, and we are still goalless. Japan 0, Croatia 0, but there have certainly been chances for both teams in this last 16 tie. Netherlands, Argentina, England, France, the 4 teams already through to those quarterfinals. Quarterfinals will start on Friday. England's game against France, 7 o'clock on Sunday night. Perisic long throw into the penalty area. Yoshida heads it away, doesn't get much distance on it. The ball is dropping on the edge of the box. Barisic nods it forward. Little flick on here. Important from Nagatomo to read that and volley it away. The ball won't come down at the moment. Eventually Kovacic gets it back to Juranovic. Here's Modric, 40 yards out, central position. That's another little impetuous flick with the outside of the right boot to find a teammate, but Japan have cleared. Oh, Maeda's played it behind Kamada. Croatia have it again.
It's a great weapon they have in Perisic's long throws. They're so difficult to defend because they come in, but with no pace. So you know, on a cross, you use the pace of the ball to get it away. But when it comes in at the throw-in.
Great ball from Endo. Down the left-hand side, chance for Japan. It's Kamada on the left. Maeda makes the run in the middle. Nagatomo is up in support. Kamada was caught. He's down hurt. Attack continues. Could be another cross coming into the Croatian penalty area. Nagatomo sort of runs into a dead end there and then flicks a ball hopefully into space on the diagonal, but Livakovic off his line. And Kamada's appealing and saying, well, shouldn't we have had a free kick, to our referee, Ismail El Faf.
Yeah, he stayed down as well, as if he was hurt, and that was kind of the problem, that he was not there as a station, so they lost the ball. Lovren did quite well. He's been a little bit exposed there on the right hand side, because the right back, Juranovic, is I don't think he's having a particularly good game. He's kind of in between positions. Don't know how to deal with the way that the Japanese players are playing at the moment.
Familiar voice of Peter Schmeichel with us on 5 Live Sport. If you're on the move, take the World Cup with you, available via the BBC Sounds app. That's where you'll find the World Cup Daily podcast every single day. The best reaction, debate and analysis to everything that's going on over here in Qatar. Here's Kovacic. Plays it to Brozovic, not the kindest ball back, but Kovacic's touch was sure and speedy, and now Modric. So the midfield three all within about 10 yards of each other. Modric almost lost it there to Kamada for a second. But here are Croatia building again. Kovacic on the ball. Turned around the corner by Perisic. Yoshida reads it, puts a right foot on it, clears it. Lovren heads it down the right-hand side. Better touch from Juranovic there, but decides to turn back and come back to Modric. Modric leans into that pass and plays it to Perisic. Perisic now over on the right-hand side, just for the time being with this attack. Kovacic plays to Brozovic, across to Modric. About 7 yards inside the Japanese half. Stops for a second, assesses the field of play. Goes low to his right to Juranovic, and now Perisic pops up wide on the right. Can't get the pass back to Juranovic, and Japan are able to play out. 14 minutes remaining in the first half. Japan 0, Croatia 0.
And it's not really a great game, to be honest. It's very much a game in the last 6, and the first knockout game. It's very cautious. No one's committing players going forward. We've had the excitement of the crosses that Japan's put in, and then the chance, of course, that Croatia had just before. But apart from that, it's very much just passing the ball around. At the moment, Japan's got it in their own half. They're not going anywhere, just passing it between two players and slowly progressing.
Said it before the game. Croatia's 3 knockout games 4 years ago in Russia all went to extra time. Won 2 of them on penalties. One of those against Peter's Denmark. Quarterfinals, they beat Russia on penalties, then beat England after extra time in the semi-final. So they're a team that are well used to going the distance. Here's Morita. Not much pace on that pass to get it out to Nagatomo on the left-hand side. Doan's just made a little run into the edge of the box, but Japan come back into central midfield. That's Endo. Now across by the centre-back Taniguchi to Tomiyasu. And here's Ito. Back to Tomiyasu again. Left-footed pass into midfield. Morita just able to hold on to that. Move loses a little bit of momentum. Curling pass over the top looks good. Doan tries to chest it down, does so, gives it to Kamada. Kamada dances his way past a right leg of Modric that was stuck out, hopefully to try and win the ball. Here's Taniguchi. Endo across to Morita. About 10 yards inside the Croatian half. Croatians lined up, defensive organisation in front of Japan. They're just passing it around in front of Croatia at the moment. Now Endo looking to do something a little more purposeful. Gets the ball almost on the edge of the box. Maeda tried to lay it off to him. Couldn't quite find him. Juranovic is able to clear with his right foot.
Oh, that touch by Maeda there. He didn't know how free he was. He should have not have touched it, just let it run past him, and he would have had a clear shot. But he's trying to pass it back. It was... I'm just looking at Lovren. He's played all right, but as I said before, he's a little bit exposed. It's like he don't know where to be. That movement, that little bit of movement that Japan is doing, he's kind of in between all the time. And I don't know what their tactics has been here and how they prepared themselves, but it looks like him and Guardiola, they're not in sync.
This is Guardiola on the ball. Kovacic turns a pass around the corner to Brozovic, intercepted by Japan. Chance to come on the counter. Doan is chased back by Barisic. Turns inside Barisic, brings it in from the right, looking for that pass to Kamada. Chests it down on the edge of the box. Guardiola is strong. Wins the header. Lovren, his centre-back partner, is there. Tomiyasu reads the clearance, chests it down. Morita tries to bring it forward. Good challenge on him by Kovacic, and suddenly Gvardiol is striding forward from defence. Pings the pass hard at Kramaric, can't control it. Japan have it.
Yeah, that was an opportunity wasted there. Guardiola got the ball, pacey, running forward, and he absolutely didn't ping. He smashed the ball to Kramaric, who I thought was running the wrong way. He should have opened up instead. He was running towards him, but that was an opportunity to counter Japan.
10 minutes remaining in the first half. Stadium definitely fuller than it was at the start of the game. Feels almost packed now inside the Al Janoub here. Still Japan 0, Croatia 0, and we're still waiting. There have been chances, as Peter Schmeichel's been saying, good chances as well, but in terms of a sort of free-flowing game of football, we're not quite seeing that.
I won't say there were chances, there were opportunities that could have been dealt with better, you know.
Right.
The crosses that Japan's put in, the strikers were still a little bit off. There weren't, no one was sort of clear-cut chances, or ended up in clear-cut chances. I think, you know, the gift that Perisic had from Tomiyasu early on, that was a chance. And of course that cross that was just saved nearly on the line.
Morita's ball
10 minutes ago was.
Yeah, looking for Doan on the right, couldn't find. Doan jumps in to win it back for Japan quickly, sweeps a low pass to his left. Nagatomo is there in support. Morita on the turn, finds Endo about 45 yards from the Croatian goal in the inside right channel. Ito misplaces his pass. Kovacic intercepts. Ito tries to make amends, but can't win it back. Ball bounces loose. Little flick from Doan is nice to Kamada. Kamada looks for support. Ito's got speed, thinks about going on the outside. Dummies Kovacic, turns away from him. Tomiyasu here to Endo, across to Morita. And Morita, just with the outside of his right foot, prompts Nagatomo to make a run. Nagatomo decides against the cross. Maida's just walking into position at the moment in that Croatian penalty area. Japan come back to the halfway line. 8 minutes remaining in the first half. 5 live. And BBC Sounds, Japan 0, Croatia 0 in this last 16 tie at the World Cup, which of course, being knockout football, could mean extra time for the first time at this World Cup, could mean penalties as well. Here's Morita. 15 yards inside the Croatian half in a central position, walking pace again to Taniguchi, rolls it forward to Kamada. Kamada wide to Nagatomo. Noise levels go up as Nagatomo gets on the ball. Little step over to try and dummy Juranovic, then swings a high cross in, but he's not got it right and it's gone straight behind for a goal kick to Croatia. Peter Schmeichel.
First bad cross from Japan today. This is, I think, is Japan's problem when they have possession like they've just had now for a couple of minutes. They haven't got the players who can create that little bit of magic that opens up a relatively solid Croatian defense. They haven't got a Modric. I think they would prefer if Croatia had the ball and they were closer to the Japanese goal, and then they would get the ball in counter, but that hasn't happened yet. Croatia are very cautious. They're still keeping players back. They've only one Japanese player up, and at all times there are 4 players behind the ball. So clearly the respect for Japan of what they can do, what they showed against Germany and Spain, is in the Croatian tactics.
If you are listening to us back in the UK this afternoon, wherever you might be listening to us, and you want to take a little break at half time, make sure you don't miss the start of the second half, because Japan absolutely renowned in this tournament for the manager making a couple of changes, and it has an immediate impact. So you would be unwise to miss it. Although on your smart speakers, I know during this tournament you can actually ask BBC Sounds to rewind some of the action. So if you miss 5 minutes of a game, just ask BBC Sounds to rewind 5 minutes and it can take you back. So there you go. 6 minutes left in this first half. We're still Japan 0, Croatia 0. Cagey and cautious so far. Modric with the free kick into the Japanese penalty area. Doan tries to clear the bouncing ball with his left foot. It's half blocked. This might run to Ito, who's popped up on the left-hand side. He's got pace. Maida ahead of him through the middle. Ito gets his head up, looks for the run of Maida. That's a good run as well. Juranovic with him into the penalty area. 3 blue shirts in support behind him. Cross comes in from that left-hand side, half cleared. Maida will chase that loose ball. So will Morita, and Morita gets there first. He's right out by the corner flag on the left. Does so well to get it to Maida. Maida keeps his feet as well. Under pressure from Modric. Plays it back to Endo. Endo working it onto his left foot. Slides it through. Kamada, right-footed shot over the bar. Great chance for Japan late in the first half. But it goes behind for the goal kick to Croatia.
What an opportunity for Japan to take a 1-0 lead into the half-time team talk. It was a really, really good counter-attack, the first time we've seen that today from Japan, and it was stopped by, of all players, Luka Modric, 37 years of age. He was a guy at the far back who actually stopped it, but then a little bit of brilliance on the left-hand side created that opportunity. It was a 1-on-1 from an angle, I have to say, against the goalkeeper, but the ball was quite a fair bit over the goal.
Yeah, it was. Throw in now for Croatia, deep in their left-back position. They've won another one on the left-hand side. Lovely close-up of the Japanese fans away to our left. The drums have got going again. Lots of them with the white headbands on. They've been so intense and passionate and emotional at this tournament. You can only imagine if they do make it through to the quarterfinals for the first time in their history. I think the tears are going to start flowing again. Only 2 teams from the Asian Confederation in the history of the World Cup have actually made it through to the quarterfinals. North Korea back in 1966, South Korea when they were co-hosts in 2002. So again, it would be a massive step, not just for Japan, but again for Asian football if they can make it through. And of course, South Korea have the chance later on this evening.
And I think that plays
Brazil.
That plays into how they play. That plays into this cautiousness that this could actually happen. They're this close. They have all the confidence. They've already beaten Germany and Spain. So why not also beat Croatia?
Diagonal ball from Morita, fizz to Ito. Ito tried to find the run of Doan. It's come back to Tomiyasu. Doan is free on the right, curls across him with his left foot. Livakovic comes! Miscommunication. The ball's headed away by Juranovic for a corner. Livakovic behind him. If Juranovic gets that wrong, he's going to head that into his own net.
Yeah, that was unnecessary. He's given a corner away, Juranovic. I don't think he's played a good first half. I think he's under pressure. He's been under pressure. He's not been able to find the right position. How can he stop the crosses coming in from the left-hand side? And on this occasion, Livakovic, he could easily have caught that ball, and I couldn't hear him, but I could see that he was screaming for it, and he didn't leave it for him. He's given a corner kick away. Corner
from the right, killed into the near post, headed away. That'll go out for another corner. Doan waits for a ball to arrive. Doan's the super sub, so he can't come on at half-time and do what he's been doing in this tournament. Took him 4 minutes against Germany, 2 minutes against Spain. This is late in the first half. He takes the corner short to Kamada. Doan might be able to get across him with his left foot here. That is good delivery. Ball drops loose! Maida smashes it home for Japan! They are at it again! They've beaten Germany, they've beaten Spain, and now they take the lead against Croatia in the last 16. Celtics, Dyson Maida in the right place at the right time. Japan 1, Croatia 0.
A well-worked corner kick. We just said that it was a silly corner kick to give away. The first one was actually headed out again, but this is well worked. Shortly taken. First it goes backwards, and then one more time back, and then a perfect left-footed cross from the right-hand side into the box. I don't think it's offside. It's a little bit of a scramble, and Maida is at the end of an easy chance, and it's 1-0 Croatia. Oh, sorry, 1-0 Japan.
Yes.
It's Croatia.
Yes, and look at what that means to the Japanese fans all around this stadium. Have we got another huge upset on our hands, courtesy of Japan? Checking for possible offside leading up to goal has appeared on our screen. So Japan and Japanese fans everywhere will be desperately hoping there is no offside. And Maida, who does get criticised for his sort of lack of goal output at club and international level, well, I mean, he couldn't really miss, but he was in the right spot. He lashed it home. The goal counts. Japan lead Croatia 1-0.
Yeah, and I would say on balance it's well deserved. It's not like any of the two teams have played particularly well. This, as I said it before, it's been very, very cautious from both sides, but this could just maybe open it up a little bit, maybe, you know, maybe Croatia will commit a little bit forward.
Yeah, they're going to have to now. Last minute of the first half, plus a bit of added time. 5 Live on BBC Sounds. Japan leading Croatia by a 1-0. What an incredible tournament they are having. Picture of Dyson Maeda appears on the big screen around the grounds as his teammate Taniguchi, the centre-back, heads the ball away. So what have Croatia got in response? Not been full of goals in this tournament. Gvardiol is on the ball. It was another great cross, wasn't it, Peter? The delivery from the flanks for Japan has been really good.
Yeah, and it's clearly something that they've spotted, that there's a weakness in the Croatian defence. I don't think they've defended well. I said this. I look at Lovren. Lovren is in between all the time, and of course, on the cross that led to the corner, the first corner kick of the two, Juranovic, there was no need for him to give that corner kick away. The goalkeeper was right behind him, a yard behind him. It was clear to see that he was shouting for the ball. He could have caught the ball, and you know, they would have restarted from there, but he headed it out for corner kick. The first corner kick was kicked in, and went for another corner kick, and then it was a short corner kick, was passed back one time, and then one more going back, one more, and the corner kick take on his left foot, put it back in, and they just didn't deal with the cross again, and they've been warned. I think they have been warned. I mean,
yep. And it was Doan with the left-footed cross, so he's had an impact again, but Dyson Maeda, the goal scorer, chasing a ball now. Lovren's under real pressure, plays it back to Livakovic. Maeda still going, tries to close him down. Livakovic clears with his right foot. They really have been one of the teams of the tournament so far, Japan. They've been an absolute joy to watch and follow, and they lead Croatia by a 1-0. Croatia finalists 4 years ago have now got to try and find something in response. We've only got 30 seconds left at the end of this first half. Ball is played out to Barisic on the left-hand side. Croatia in the red and white check shirts, white shorts, white socks, playing from right to left, right at the end of this first half. Modric trying to make it tick from deep, looking for the return pass. Modric gets in space on the right. Low cross comes in. Petkovic takes a touch, tries the cut back. That's blocked. Late corner for Croatia.
And again, you know, anything good that happens for Croatia, it comes from for Luka Modric. Again, a nice low cross. It was a difficult one to deal with because Petkovic is always in front of the first post. But he's got a corner kick. It's an opportunity to equalise and come in at 1-1.
This is going to be the very last action of this first half. Right in front of the Japanese fans in that lower tier of this stadium. Now they're going to go short. Modric gets the ball back from Kovacic onto his left foot. Overlapping run from Juranovic. Cross comes in to the far post. Lovren tries to attack it. The ball is over his head. And the half-time whistle blows. And we have another potential upset on our hands. Dyson Maeda with a goal late in the first half. Peter Schmeichel has Japan leading Croatia by a 1-0.
They are, and it's gonna be, you know, I'm really looking forward to the second 45 minutes. See how are Japan gonna react to being 1-0 up? They haven't been 1-0 up yet in this tournament, and how is Croatia gonna deal with this? Clearly, they have to do something. They have to change and be a bit more positive, and maybe attack Japan a little bit, and that promises an open game. And we know what it's like when Japan plays an open game. Yeah,
we are very much looking forward to the second half. They sort of show a squad unity there at halftime as well. The Japanese substitutes all coming on in a line to warm up, and all in a line high-fiving all the starting 11 who have the lead for them at halftime. Last 16 tie, the winners will play the winners of Brazil against South Korea tonight, and it is Japan who lead. Japan 1, Croatia 0.
Ali, thank you very much. Peter, it's another set piece from Japan. They seem to be so creative with these opportunities. And in a game that's been as tight as this one, it felt like it was going to come down to a moment like that.
Yes, precisely. But, you know, when you get to this point in a tournament, first of all, the quality of your opponents, it's normally a little bit stronger than in the group phase. And therefore, opportunities, it's difficult to create too many opportunities from open play. But when you get we get set pieces, corner kicks, free kicks, that is an opportunity to create a chance. And they worked this really, really well. I have to say that. It was, and it's clear that they've done a lot of work on the training pitch. But I have to say, they are exploiting Croatia at the moment. They have not dealt with all the crosses that Japan has been putting in. And I wonder I wonder what the Japanese coach is going to say to his players in halftime here. Go out and get more corner kicks, put more crosses, actually put more balls in towards Lovren, because he looked very, very insecure today. He's not supported very well, I have to say, on the right hand side by Juranovic, and of course Bono Barisic, who came in, started his first game at left back. He's not had a good half either. So Zlatko, I call him Zlatko.
Zlatko Dalic, yes.
Zlatko Dalic, yeah. He's got to do something about that today, or here at halftime. He's got to do something. If not, I think Japan will have more opportunities.
Kelly, the only chances that Croatia really had in that first half came from two Japanese mistakes. So Croatia need to find a lot more after the break.
Alistair Bruce-Ball, Peter Schmeichel, thank you very much for now. We'll be back to the Al Janoub Stadium for the second half of Japan against Croatia. Japan leading that one by 1-0 at half-time. We'll round up the rest of the day's big sports stories after the BBC News with Richard Foster.
Take the World Cup with you. Qatar 2022.
On BBC Sounds, this is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer has promised the biggest ever transfer of power from Westminster to the British people if the party wins the next election. He set out plans to extend Scottish devolution, give regions more autonomy and abolish the House of Lords. Lady Hayman is a former Labour minister who was the Lord Speaker.
I think you have to have a statutory appointments commission. The parties have to be much more disciplined about looking at who's proposed. Personally, I would completely separate the honours system from the responsibilities and job of being a parliamentarian.
A 12-year-old child from a school in southeast London has died from strep A bacterial infection. 6 other children in the UK have also lost their lives in recent weeks. Most people who become infected with strep A have a mild illness. There have been more Russian missile strikes against Ukraine hours after explosions at 2 air bases inside Russia killed at least 3 people. Ukraine's main energy company says the power network in the country has been severely affected. A former Conservative MP who was jailed for groping a 15-year-old boy has lost a Court of Appeal challenge against his conviction and sentence. Imran Ahmad Khan, who won the Wakefield seat in 2019, was jailed for 18 months in May. And Prince Harry has spoken about the leaking and planting of stories as part of what he calls a dirty game in a new trailer for the Harry and Meghan series on Netflix. He describes the pain and suffering of women marrying into the institution and also raises the issue of race. The series is released on Thursday.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Listen live on digital, online, smart speaker or the BBC Sounds app.
The latest travel, the A1M in County Durham is closed at junction 58. That's near Bertree and near the A68. The police have been dealing with an incident. There is a diversion sign for you. The M1, massive problems. It's around Nottingham and junction 28 Alfreton to 26 at Nottingham. The southbound side, a car transporter caught fire. So a motorway closure in place. Queues backing up on both sides. The northbound side also closed from 26 Nottingham to 27 at Hucknall and queues are back to 25 at Nottingham. The M6 in the West Midlands queuing northbound, junction 9 at Wednesbury all the way back to junction 6 at the Spaghetti Junction near Birmingham. That's after a breakdown which happened in the congestion. The M1 at 33 at Catcliffe and a breakdown, recovery underway there. 1 lane closed heading towards the M18 and the A303 Poddymore in Somerset closed near the Poddymore roundabout of the A37 for investigation work. Warner Merchant, 5 Live Travel.
BBC 5 Live.
The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022 with Kelly Cates.
Welcome back to Doha, where the second half is about 10 minutes away between Japan and Croatia. Japan leading Croatia by 1-0. We'll be back there very shortly. And we'll get the latest from inside the England football camp. As far as the cricket team are concerned, they recorded a famous victory with a 74-run win over Pakistan in the first test in Rawalpindi. Jack Leach took the final wicket with just minutes of light remaining. He trapped Naseem Shah LBW, and that left Pakistan 268 all out. Here's the England captain, Ben Stokes.
I guess it's one of those feelings that, you know, only sport can give you. The toil of, you know, everyone from the last session yesterday to everything that we threw at them today. It's, you know, it's one of those real group efforts to come out here and, you know, take 20 wickets and the way in which we operate today, the way in which everyone threw themselves into the challenge of what we had in front of us was absolutely incredible. And got a dressing room of some pretty sore broken bowlers up there, but they've done it for each other, and it's a real sign of our dressing room at the moment that, you know, everyone's doing what they need to do at the time for the other 10 blokes around them. So yeah, it's a great place to be.
Incredible test to open that series, and the second test begins in Multan on Friday, when England will have the chance to secure the series. And you can hear ball-by-ball commentary from 4:45 in the morning on Sports Extra and on BBC Sounds. England's women started life under new coach John Lewis with a 142-run win over West Indies. Charlie Dean, the pick of the players, she took 4 for 35 in her 9 overs. England made 307 for 7 in the first ODI of the series. In rugby union, Wales have sacked Wayne Pivac as head coach and replaced him with Warren Gatlin, who returns for a second spell in charge. In the world of tennis, it's been announced today that legendary coach Nick Bollettieri has died at the age of 91. Our tennis correspondent Russell Fuller is with us. Russell, Bollettieri coached Andre Agassi, Maria Sharapova, Boris Becker, but he also had a huge impact on the Williams sisters, and that's just a small part of his tennis legacy.
What a life, Kelly. He absolutely broke the mould. Never an elite player at all. Discharged from the army back in 1957, needed to earn some money, offered some tennis lessons. His career actually developed very slowly, but he's made his name with the academy that was launched in his name in 1978, and that transformed tennis coaching throughout the 1980s. Students were required to train and live there full time, and some hated it. Maria Sharapova and Andre Agassi are two of those. They've referred to it as feeling like a tennis prison. It was hard work, it was very repetitive, but what a list of great players he's worked with. 10 singles players that he's worked with have become world number one. And as a travelling coach, not something he did a great deal of. He had that one big success that everybody remembers with Andre Agassi as he won Wimbledon and a first Grand Slam in 1992.
And a media career as well, which means you actually worked with him, Russell. So what can you tell us about the person?
Well, he just had this extraordinary presence, Kelly. Holy mackerel was his favourite catchphrase. He called pretty much everybody baby, which helps if you can't remember their names, I suppose. He always wore those wraparound sunglasses, had a perma tan, a winning smile, bags of charisma. He was a real wheeler dealer as well, the archetypal free marketeer. But he was a fantastic broadcaster because he had a great turn of phrase. The camera loved him. He certainly loved the camera. And we did have a lot of fun with him in the BBC radio commentary box at Wimbledon and the US Open. He'd do pretty much everything that was asked of him. And he brought both grit and glamour, New York style, to our commentary box on centre court. It was fantastic to work with him.
He'll be so fondly remembered. Nick, thank you very much, Russell.
Thanks, Kelly.
Russell Fuller there on Nick Bollettieri. More now on England's win, and while England will have expected to get to the quarter-final stage of this tournament, the way that they played in that 3-0 victory over Senegal means that England fans can get quite excited about what this World Cup might hold. Emma Saunders has been with the England camp today. Emma, is that excitement carrying itself into the camp itself?
Yeah, it's safe to say, I think, with the on-air reaction that we've had today, there is now this real anticipation, excitement building around this England side after their progress to the quarterfinals. And yeah, it was the same on the ground here today in Doha. So much so, even the Qatari security guards, as they greeted us when we arrived at the England base today, it was, come on England, it's coming home. So they're very much on board with Gareth Southgate's side. I have to say, though, as soon as you cross through those security checks and you get to the England pitches where we were watching those in a recovery session train today, you did feel a bit of a shift. Yes, it's the morning after the night before, you know, there's lots of smiles on faces, but the prep now for France, it begins today. So the players that remain, they were very focused, well, at least this afternoon anyway. Last night, rightly so, there were scenes of celebration, plenty of footage knocking around social media of their hotel staff, much like the security guards that we saw today, all getting very excited by the team that they're hosting. And James Maddison was our player interview today. We asked him a little bit more about this, and yeah, safe to say those scenes of celebration that we saw on the pitch, they were continued as they arrived in their accommodation last night.
So they did a little, when we got through was it the first game or it might have been the third game, we got back and there was like a few flags and we thought, oh, that was nice, wasn't it? But they took it to a new level last night. There was confetti, there was shirts, there was face smash, there was everything. It was really nice to go back to, because when you almost get to know the staff a little bit at the base camp, because you're there for so long. I don't know what it is now. It might be like day 21 or so, day 20, day 21, something like that. And you build up a little relationship with the staff and stuff at the base camp, and they're all such nice people. So to see them almost on this journey with us is a nice feeling, and to come back to them celebrations, it was nice, yeah.
Yeah, as you said there, it looked as if the celebrations had been sort of stepped up a gear. I did just wonder, before England came out here, you had people already roughly mapping out how far England might go, who they might be facing in the round of 16, the quarter-final, and you've pretty much reached that point now. I think everybody thought it'll be England against France. So now that you've got here, does it feel like there has been a slight shift now that those expectations have been met? Is there a bit of a sense of relief in camp, like a bit of a different feeling today?
I wouldn't say the word relief, because that's what we work to, that's what we expect. They're the standards that we set, you know. And you say about like mapping out the tournament of if you win the group you play these and then you get through. We try. I don't think we really do that. That's more for you lot in the media to do, and
the fans as well. We're not the only ones.
And the fans you're the platform that gets it out there, and the fans do it. But as cliche as it sounds, when you're here, the next game is so important that you don't really. We obviously sit and we watch all the other games, and you'll hear commentators talk about it and stuff, but. And you know, if you top the group, you play them because they finish. But the next game's always so important that you can never look too far ahead in a tournament, I don't think.
Yes, that was James Maddison speaking there. He was one of 12 players out on the grass today. A real sign of the depth, by the way, of this England side, because even with the 11 missing, you had Grealish out there, Mount, Trent Alexander-Arnold. And in the 15 minutes we watched, it was really nothing more than a bit of jogging, although there was a bit of headline news. No Callum Wilson in today's training, just a precautionary measure, we're told. Just a bit of a niggle that he's dealing with. So we'll expect him back in training soon. And no Raheem Sterling, of course, as we know, he has returned to London to be with his family. And the recovery session today, I think, means all 24 players having trained today will have a bit of a rest day tomorrow, as of course they've got almost a week before this quarter-final. So James Maddison we heard from there just a couple of minutes, but you will be able to hear an extended version of that interview in the World Cup Daily.
Thank you very much for that. Emma Saunders there with the very latest from inside the England camp. And it's fair to say that while they're looking ahead to that game against France on Saturday, which you can listen to live commentary of on 5 Live Sport, there is a real focus after the celebrations of last night's 3-0 win against Senegal. Celebrating at the moment are Japan, who are 1-0 up against Croatia at half-time. It came from a corner, Maeda with the goal for Japan. That's why they lead at half-time. The second half now coming up from the Al Janoub Stadium with Peter Schmeichel and Alistair Bruce Ball.
Thank you, Kelly. Yes, unusual position for Japan to be in the big wins over Germany and Spain. They were behind at half-time. The manager would then make changes and they would have an immediate impact in this tournament. But they lead, and neither manager has made a change in personnel for the second half. A lone bird has come fluttering into the stadium about 10 feet above pitch level, catching our eye away to the right. Game is underway. Kamada's little lofted ball forward, looking for Doan. Croatia are able to deal with that, play it up towards Petkovic on the halfway line. He's bundled over. Thought he should have had a free kick, doesn't get the decision. Here's Kamada onto his right foot, hits the shot, always rising over the bar it goes. Good start to the second half by Japan, looking for that second goal. Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah, you said that right at the end of the first half. Don't miss the start of the second half, because Japan, they have this knack of creating something, and they did. I have to say, it looks like Croatia is still in the dressing room. They haven't turned off. That was far too easy. It ended up in a shot from 25 yards, and it was well over, but there's still an opportunity that shouldn't have happened.
Japan 45 minutes away from a first ever World Cup quarter-final. Perisic's ball into their penalty area, and that is Taniguchi who clears it at the near post. Shuichi Gonda in goal, Tomiyasu, Yoshida, Taniguchi, the 3 centre-backs, Ito and Nagatomo, the 2 wing-backs, Wataru Endo and Hidemasa Morita, the 2 central midfielders, Doan on the right, Kamada on the left, and the goal scorer Daizen Maeda of Celtic playing through the middle. Throw in for Croatia, level with the penalty spot in the Japan box, headed away by Yoshida. The ball's not quite clear yet, bounces once. Kamada just knocks it to his left. Nagatomo puts everything into that clearance. Up in the air it goes. Lovren cushions a header to his right. Juranovic plays the ball infield, and easily intercepted by Taniguchi, flicked on by Brozovic, laid down by Kovacic, and here is Gvardiol, who's playing in this protective black mask, the left-sided centre-back for Croatia.
And now we see Croatia have got the ball. In the first half, it was so cautious. Let's see how they approach this second half. They're 1-0 down. They're 45 minutes of going away from going out of the World Cup. They need to be a bit more aggressive, and they need to take more chances.
Maida chasing through. Lovren got just enough on the header back to his goalkeeper, Livakovic. Livakovic of Dinamo Zagreb in goal. Juranovic and Barisic, the full-backs. Lovren and Gvardiol, the two centre-backs. Modric, Brozovic and Kovacic, that midfield three. Yoshida's header goes straight up in the air, bounces in front of Petkovic. Japan get bodies in the way inside the box, and Endo clears with his right foot. Hoffenheim's Andrej Kramaric on one side, Perisic of Tottenham on the other, and Petkovic making his first start at this World Cup, the centre-forward who's not had much of an impact in the game. Great sliding challenge from Endo to win a loose ball. It goes out for a throw into Croatia on the right.
They are two big fellas, Petkovic and Kramaric, and they should be more dominating when the ball gets into the box, and they're not. They haven't got a lot of pace, so that's something they have to do. They have to win those headers, and they've just had an opportunity where they didn't. Now we see a long throw into the box again from Croatia.
Flatter trajectory on that one. Volleyed attempt from Kovacic. He's looping wide of the Japanese goal. Bounces behind. Gonda had it covered. That will be a goal kick for Japan. 3 minutes gone in the second half. Japan leading Croatia 1-0.
And what's been really clear in this game, 41st, 45 minutes, we see that now in the beginning here, is that Japan has got much more pace in every position all over the pitch. So for Croatia needs to find answers. So one of them is the physical bit. So get the balls up to the two big strikers and let them fight for it in the box, and then, you know, get support from midfield. And we've seen little glimpses of that, but they're not, again, as I said earlier, they're not fully committed to either or, if you like.
Livakovic clears first time, the Croatian goalkeeper. Morita heads to his right. Here's Kovacic. He loses it quickly in midfield to Ito. Oh, that's a lovely touch and turn from Doan. Holds off Gvardiol. He's got support on the left from Nagatomo. Gvardiol backs off. Japan, of course, scored a couple of early goals in the second half against Belgium in the last 16. And Russia, ball in from Doan. Sliding challenge from Lovren. Ball goes straight up in the air. Lovren on his feet quickly. Volley from the edge of the box from Morita. Gvardiol heads this away. Second header from Juranovic. Ball drops loose on the edge of the box, and Juranovic, taking no prisoners there, just puts his right foot through it and clears it high to the halfway line. Yoshida heads it to his right. Wouldn't quite come down for Ito, headed away by Barisic.
Well, this super sub, Ritsu Doan, he started today. He's been absolutely fantastic. It was his cross that they scored from very late on in the first half, and he just put another one in. This one was flat, and again the Croatian defense had a hard time dealing with that. He's been tremendous today, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's super starter now. He's super starter now. And let's see if they make it through to the quarterfinals, whether he gets a start in that game as well. Free kick for Japan on the right. But as I say, against Belgium 4 years ago in Rostov, they took a 2-0 lead. They eventually got pegged back and lost that thriller by 3-2. And I remember that closing move so well in the dying minutes. De Bruyne coming striding out of his own half, and you could see it all playing out in front of him. And it was Chadley who stuck the ball away. So Japan taking nothing for granted as yet, but they do lead Croatia, and they deservedly lead Croatia, don't they,
I think
Peter?
they do.
Yeah.
I think they do. And when you go back to that game against Belgium, what a game that was. And of course, Japan was a losing side that day, but they have learned from that game. It's very clear.
Lovren with a header back to Livakovic. He was under pressure from Maida. Livakovic just bowls it out underarm here, plays it across to Modric. That is the man, of course, Croatia are looking to, playing in his 5th World Cup. Ball to the right, Juranovic early cross in. Yoshida who got the crucial touch actually, which led to the Maida goal. He just stuck out a right leg to keep that ball alive. Maida reacted quickest right at the end of the first half. That's why Japan lead. Cross from Barisic, looks too close to the goalkeeper. And Petkovic down inside the penalty area. He's appealing for a penalty. VAR will clearly have a look.
This is the referee that gave the non-penalty to Ronaldo. So this time he waved it away. Let's see. It looked like he was taken down, but
Petkovic onto the ball just outside the penalty area now. Right-footed cross is straight at the goalkeeper, who falls gratefully onto the ball, so VAR will have had a look. They will be communicating, but the referee at the moment just waving play on. Is there enough in that, Peter?
No, I don't.
No.
Petrovic, he went down very, very easy there. It's a little hand on the shoulder, but it's not enough for a penalty. But you never know with this referee, you know.
That's true. Taniguchi just has to be a bit careful there. I mean, he's doing what all defenders do, staying close, had a slight handful of shirt, but I think Peter Schmeichel absolutely spot on. Petkovic is a big fella, and I think if you touched him like that, you know, if you were in a sort of a race for a taxi with him, I don't think he'd be going down like that if you gave him a slight nudge.
But it's a little bit of that I want Croatia to do. Balls in the box like that, and let Petkovic and Kramaric, let them fight for it. You just don't know. They're not going to beat Japan on pace anywhere on the pitch.
Petkovic layoff, doesn't find Kramaric. Here's Morita. Plays it to his left to Nagatomo. Intercepted by Modric. Wide on the right, midway inside the Japan half. Plays it to Petkovic. Left-footed cross is beyond Kovacic. Couldn't do anything with that. And Junya Ito is interested here, and he's eating up the ground on the right-hand side. He's definitely got the beating of Barisic if he wants to go that way. Turns inside him, stops for a second and plays the ball back to Doan. Into midfield it comes to Endo. Endo is looking for options. Lovely curling ball out to the right. Ito's cross, half deflected. Maeda jumps for it. The ball is headed in the air and behind, and that's a corner for Japan.
It's a corner kick again, and here's the big difference between the Japanese team and the Croatian team. With that amount of energy that they infuse into it when they have the ball, they run forward with pace, and they're asking questions of the Croatian defenders. And this time they won a corner kick, and 3 minutes from the end of the first half, they scored from a corner kick. Same side.
Yes, good point. Junya Ito, who plays on that right-hand side, plays in Ligue 1 for Reims. Joined them from Genk this summer. 8 goals, 21 assists last season in Belgium. That doesn't surprise me at all watching him here. Corner comes in. Taniguchi flicks it back to the edge of the box. Volleyed away by Juranovic. He sliced that. That nearly hits that sort of spider cam on the big wires above the pitch. Dangled high above the players. Lovren just side foots a ball to Juranovic. Gives it back to Lovren. And time is Croatia's enemy, of course. 35 minutes to play. And at the moment they're heading out of this World Cup to Japan, who lead Croatia by 1-0. Modric with his left foot. Low pass out to Barisic. Uses Modric again. Got that thin.
Yeah, and there's no sign. There's nothing that tells you this is going to change. The situation is going to change. Modric got the ball now. He's only just inside his own half, and he comes back and gets the ball every time they have it. And everything is so slow. They need to speed it up. They need to ask better questions of Japan, but they're not. It's easy for Japan at the moment.
Kramaric running from right to left has left it for Brozovic. Brozovic side foots a ball out to Juranovic on the right. Lovren wants to speed things up and get across into the box. Header from Perisic. Wow! What an incredible header that's gone flying past Gonda and ended up in the back of the net. He had so much to do from that cross from Lovren on the right, but he's planted into the bottom corner. He is now Croatia's record goal scorer in major tournaments, and he won't have scored many better than that. That's Japan 1, Croatia 1.
And I won't say it's well deserved, but we've been calling for them to do exactly that. Get the ball in there, let them fight for it. Dejan Lovren gets the ball. It's kind of like he's 40 yards back. He's a bit tired of this playing the ball to and from. So he puts a very, very good cross into the ball. At the end of it is Perisic. He heads it across goal down to the bottom corner. No chance for Gonda. What a great goal, and it came out of absolutely nothing.
What a header from Ivan Perisic. Pace and placement as well. Met it with real purpose. Gonda throwing himself to his left. Couldn't get there. And out of nowhere, really, Croatia are back in the game. So many quality balls from Japan into the Croatian penalty area. Finally, a really good one into Japan's box, and that is some header, Peter.
Well, it's just funny to see when Lovren got the ball, he's looking around thinking, no, I'm not having this anymore, and he crossed the ball. I mean, not a lot of players would have crossed the ball from there, but he crossed the ball in, and the result is they've scored. And this is what I've been saying, they should be doing more that ask questions of this defense. They haven't done that. They've actually played into the hands of the Japanese defense because they've got more pace, they're quicker on the ball.
Doan finds Kamada, 30 yards from goal in a central position. Really interesting game now. Croatia with the equaliser, and that has come just 11 minutes into the second half. Nagatomo with a high swinging cross into the Croatian penalty area. Slight mix-up there between a couple of the defenders. Endo on his right foot fancies a shot. Curling effort. Livakovic tips it over the bar. That'll be a corner.
Have a shot. Why not? 40 yards, no, 30 yards out. It wasn't the best of shot. Let's see. It might just take a little. Yeah, it takes a little bit of a deflection off. Was it Brozovic? Took a little deflection. It's good save by the goalkeeper. And now Japan, after being pegged back to 1-1, having a corner kick from the same side. They scored from just before half-time.
Corner for Japan from the right. Doan delivers with his left foot. Livakovic comes a long way, sticks out a big right paw and gets something on it, pokes it away. Cross from Morita, that takes a deflection. Juranovic should be able to bring this away. Pass to his right to Kovacic. Kovacic just happy to launch that long downfield. Ito will chase it back for Japan and play back to his goalkeeper, Gonda. So 13 minutes gone, second half. BBC Radio 5 live at the Al Januba Stadium. Peter Schmeichel alongside. Japan 1, Croatia 1, and we've got full commentary on Brazil, South Korea to come. And Modric finds Perisic, and Perisic is in the mood, into the box, onto the right foot, can't get the shot away. Might fall for Brozovic, no, just cleared away from him in time by Morita.
Yeah, it's interesting now to follow the psychological part of this game. How are Japan going to react to being pegged back? They only had the lead for a short period of time in the game.
Yeah.
They haven't been in front before, and it's now back to all square. How are they going to react? Are they still going to have all this energy? Are they still going to play with the same mood? Because they've been in good mood, I have to say that. And will the experience of Croatia now take over?
10th goal for Ivan Perisic in major tournaments for Croatia. Some achievement. 6 World Cup goals, takes him level with Davor Šuker as well. Throw in Croatia. Juranovic dummies the long one. Lovren wasn't really looking there. The ball ran away from him under his right boot. Crosses with his left foot instead, headed away by Morita. Modric can't control. Morita, first time clearance on the half volley. The ball is spinning viciously in the air. Lovren heads it away. Doan brings it down on his left thigh. Laid back by Kamada. Just going to wait and see what the Japanese manager, Hajime Moriyasu, has up his sleeve here. They do tend to play in fits and starts and bursts and spurts, do Japan. Now they've been pegged back. Now it's 1-1, and now they're trying to play out of their own half. Endo back to Yoshida. Good delivery from Yoshida. First time ball. Finds Doan in acres of space on the right-hand side. Kamada drops alongside him, receives the pass, turns, plays it to his left, and here's Morita. Nagatomo comes speeding up on the left, easily recognisable with the rust-red hair. Right-footed cross comes into the box, headed away by Lovren, controlled here by Endo. Might fancy the hit here, he's overrun that, but it's going to run to Morita. Not the best shot from him. Back to Endo. Doan trying to turn and shoot with his left foot, easily saved by Livakovic.
Well, I have to say, Juranovic is allowing another cross to get into the box, and he should be much closer to Nagatomo, who has put cross after cross in, and the thing is, in these kind of games, you have to concentrate every moment. There's not 1 second in this game where you can sort of let go and think, oh, it's going to be all right. And that's one thing that they haven't done. They haven't concentrated on that part of where Japan has really hurt them today. They haven't stopped those crosses. And, to give a player of the quality of those crosses, 5-6 yards, you just don't give that, We're so far into the game now, they should have learned. We're an hour into it. They know this is what has hurt them before. So stop it.
Japan 1, Croatia 1. Thoughts from Peter Schmeichel on BBC Radio 5 Live, always available via the BBC Sounds app if you're on the move during this World Cup. Crossing from the left-hand side is dealt with by Yoshida on the volley. Doan is fouled, I'm sure, there by Barisic, gets the free kick. And it's Zlatko Dalic, in terms of the sort of game of strategy and tactics from the two managers. He's going to make the first change, and it's an interesting one as well. Petkovic, the centre-forward, who's not had too much of an impact in the game, he comes straight off. Ante Budimir, who's currently playing at Osasuna on loan from Real Mallorca at the age of 31, is thrown into the action for his first appearance at this World Cup, and it looks like he is going to play through the middle for Croatia. So that is the first change.
I think that's a right change. I mean, he's not been very good today. He's had absolutely no impact on the game whatsoever. He had the opportunity. He's not taken it. He's not done anything for Croatia. So let's see if Buda can do a better job.
Croatia, the experts really at knockout games at the World Cup, coming into this one, have won 5 out of 7. The only 2 defeats for them, both against France. Semi-finals in '98, final in 2018. Went behind today, back to 1-1. Here's Lovren hitting a ball into that Japanese penalty area from range. Yoshida clears now, falls to Modric, bounces once, dipping shot. Oh, fabulous save. Gonda full stretch to his right-hand side, denies Modric. It's behind for a corner.
If there ever was a player you wanted that ball to fall for, it was Luka Modric. And what a shot. Top corner, but the save is even better. What a save by Gonda.
Peter Schmeichel purring at that one. Gonda diving to his right, but Peter using that, he used the left arm, didn't he, to get to that ball that was dipping into the...
He used the one that was nearest to the ball.
17 minutes gone in the second half. This is a great last 16 tie at the World Cup. Cross comes in from Modric. Oh, that's good delivery, though, beyond everyone. Juranovic sprinting like fury to get to the ball. Can't keep it in. And it goes behind for a goal kick.
That was clearly a drill from the training ground as well. And the only thing was, there's a few players who didn't know they were doing exactly that. That would have been an opportunity. We're just watching the save again from Gonda. That was a fantastic shot by Luka Modric. He got the ball. It was in the air. He took it down, and it was a full volley with direction to the top corner, and the goalkeeper came up, saved it, gave a corner kick away, and that led to nothing. So at the moment, Gonda has kept Japan in the game. It's still 1-1.
Double change for Japan, and it is an interesting one, as it always is. So Maeda comes off, no surprise, because he just runs and runs and runs and eventually runs out of gas. So Takuma Asano comes on, who scored that brilliant winner against Germany in the group stages. Nagatomo, the left back, comes off, and Karu Mitoma, the brilliant Brighton winger, comes on for Japan. And here is Asano trying to get away from Gvardiol, who's just got enough to block his run towards that ball. Livakovic off his line to collect it for Croatia. So we'll see how Japan rearrange here. It looks like Mitoma as left wing back. So basically Mitoma comes in for Nagatomo and will offer that attacking threat down the left-hand side with Kamada ahead of him, and Takuma Asano as the centre forward to replace Maeda. 25 minutes to play. Extra time and penalties is very, very possible. Gvardiol's ball up to the edge of the area. There is Mitoma doing a defensive job, chesting the ball down. And here's Brozovic, low pass to his right, finds Barisic, plays back to Gvardiol inside his own half. Croatia defending the goal away to our left, inside this Al Januba stadium. A glorious moon glinting in a dark night sky above us. This stadium actually has a retractable roof, and you can see the curtains all sort of drawn together, were they ever to come over, along those big thick steel wires above our heads. Livakovic with the ball at his feet, edge of the D, drives it downfield with his right foot, headed by Perisic across to his right. Morita clears. Juranovic has his back to goal on the halfway line, does really well for Croatia there. Looks for the 1-2 with Perisic, keeps going. Budimir making a run in the middle, they can't find him. Yoshida clears, weak clearance, Brozovic onto it quickly. Brozovic, little back heel, that's nice. Here's Perisic, left-footed shot, deflected, the ball spins in the air. Headed clear, but only as far as Barisic. Nice little turn from Kramaric, who's over on the left now for Croatia. Chops it back onto his right foot, dummies the cross, keeps going. Low pass across to Brozovic here. And Japan having to do some defending. Brozovic, back to Kramaric. Kramaric, right-footed shot, deflected, headed down, Budimir just wide. Skidding off the turf and behind for the goal kick.
That was another opportunity to score. Budovic has just come on. I think it was Kramer which actually attempted a shot, and it was kind of deflected into Budovic's pass. It was. I think he should have done better. I think that should have been a goal. He's not under pressure. The ball is directly to him, and he scuffs it wide. Unfortunately for Croatia.
Thinking possibly a Giroud or a Kane might have stuck that away. Ball's gone straight out for a throw into Croatia from the goal kick. Gonda with that Wonderful save to deny Modric. Modric moving at full speed, looking to get on the end of this throw. Juranovic goes short to Perisic instead. Peter and I were talking goalkeepers ahead of the game. I know Szczesny's obviously impressed you, Peter, but Gonda's had a good tournament, hasn't he, for Japan?
Yeah, I think he's not only had a good tournament, he's been producing match-winning saves, and I think he's kind of at the beginning of this adventure for Japan, because he had those 4 saves in the same move, and that changed the game against Germany. They were 1-0 down at the time, and that would have been the end of the game. Had they gone 2-0 up, Germany, they would have won for sure.
Yeah, might not be here now. Asano chases the long clearance from Gonda. Gvardiol is able to climb above Asano, heads it out for a throw-in to Japan. Could go any way this game at the moment. That's the way it feels. Another change coming for Croatia. Mario Pasalic, formerly of Chelsea, is coming into the action. So Pasalic getting ready to come on. Is it Kramaric who's coming off? Kramaric, it is Kramaric who is coming off. So Pasalic on for Kramaric. Gifted playmaker, Croatia have so many of them, wearing number 15 for them, now an Atalanta player. 4th substitute appearance in the tournament, yet to start a game, but has been involved in every single one. We're approaching the last 20 minutes, extra time at the moment does beckon, and potentially the first penalty shootout of Qatar 2022. Japan, in their attempts to reach the quarterfinals, did lose a penalty shootout back in 2010, lost that one 5-3 to Paraguay. Croatia, of course, won those shootouts against Denmark and Russia on their way to the final 4 years ago, as Yoshida wins a header, brought down by Mitoma, trying to dribble out of trouble. He's tackled by Pasalic, throwing Japan.
I think with the equalisers, given Croatia some confidence, and they're now moving further and further forward on the pitch and actually trying to create more opportunities. And I think the balance at the moment is more towards them. But we know with Japan, we know it just only takes a little, a little opportunity, and they've taken them in the games against Germany and Spain.
BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Brazil against South Korea on the way for you. Commentary from 7 o'clock this evening. Doan plays back to the halfway line. Japan in their blue shirts with red and white trim, playing from right to left in the second half. Mitoma now, he does have some great fleet of foot. Takes on Pasalic, beats him, and then knocks the next ball too far. He was trying to just take one more touch to get the cross, and it's gone beyond him. It's gone behind for a goal kick. So Livakovic has the ball in those big black gloves, bounces it twice, puts it on the edge of the 6-yard box. 1-1 in the last 16. Winners to face Brazil or South Korea in the quarter-finals. Zlatko Dalic, the Croatian boss, very engaged at the moment outside the technical area, and getting real trouble for that, slowly making his way back into his little box there. Header bounces out of play, throwing Japan. Dalic thought it was a Croatian throw. Japan have already taken it. Morita looking for the 1-2 here. Morita onto the next ball. Free kick Japan. Could have played an advantage there, but they've been able to take that very, very quickly. And Tomiyasu is the one coming driving forward. Not a great pass, Ito. It's beyond him. Throwing Croatia. Not
a great pass. They're a little bit rattled at the moment, Japan. They've not really created anything in the last sort of 10 minutes. And this time, it's not like we've seen the substitution have a really, really big effect on the Japanese team, but this time it's not really happened. I really do feel that Croatia are in full control over this now.
Okay, Tomiyasu's ball in is beyond Kamada. Juranovic tearing away down the right, just clipped as he went. Fouled by Asano. Free kick for Croatia. 20 minutes to play. And Modric on the ball for them. Takes the free kick, casually rolls it to Gvardiol. Brozovic drops between the centre-backs, picks up the running for Croatia inside his own half. Wide to Pasalic, who's a tall, powerfully built midfielder. That's poor from Brozovic, giving it away. Morita looking for that through ball to Doan. Gvardiol read it, heads that away. Perisic just nods it down inside the Japanese half. And Japan are able to take control of that. It's Morita who plays to his right. There's Tomiyasu, and they'll start to build from the back with Taniguchi into the feet of Frankfurt's Kamada. Back to the skipper Yoshida. Across to Morita. Forward to Doan. First touch and a flick. Up to Asano. Asano brings that ball down. Rolls it to his right-hand side. Doan is waiting for this cross if it comes in from Ito. Low ball again into the near post. Read by Lovren and dealt with. Kovacic to Perisic. Oh, that was clever from Perisic on the turn. Didn't even look. Knew Brozovic was going to be there. On to Kovacic. Nice move building from Croatia inside their own half. Pasalic. Ball laid off by Juranovic to the main man Modric. Modric just glides forward 30 yards. Little trick. Works it onto his right foot. Diagonal floated ball headed behind for a Croatian corner.
As I said before, Croatia, I feel like they're in full control of this game. They're defending better now. Yes, the cross came in, but inside the box, they're lining up differently. They have that under control, and then this heel passage of play all the way up to a corner kick given now. I just feel that, you know, the experience of having been here before is kicking in now, and for the last 10-15 minutes, Japan has really created nothing. Yeah. Not even, you know, something that to get the crowd going.
Yeah, you can feel Croatia sort of slowly squeezing and strengthening their grip at the moment. Corner. Modric with his right foot. Low one into Perisic. Tries to lay it back to the edge of the box. Easily cut out by Asano. Plays this ball back to Ito, who lofts it high. Juranovic plays a volleyed pass towards Lovren. Has to win that challenge. He's lost it to Morita. Lovren goes down and does win the free kick just inside Japan's half.
Yeah, that's a mistake by the referee. That was never a free kick to Lovren. And had he not given it, Japan would have had a counter attack. And that's, you can hear that from the crowd here. That was a big mistake by the referee.
Japan trying to reach the quarterfinals for the first time in their history. Took the lead in this game just before half-time, if you are just joining us. Brilliant headed equaliser from Ivan Perisic. An absolute bullet of a header that flew past Gonda. Ball into the edge of the box here to Pasalic. Plays it back to the right. Juranovic given time to get another dangerous ball in. Pasalic flick header, cross goal and easily wide. Goal kick for Japan.
But that's what I think Croatia, they've got to do more of. Get crosses in there. Ask the question of the Japanese defenders. And you know, they're literally winning every header in there. This one was one as well. It wasn't in a great position. It went out for a goal kick. But it keeps the Japanese defenders thinking about what they have to do. And now there's another substitution.
Yeah, Kamada comes off, who is such an important player for Japan. So if we do go into extra time, they lose him. Hiroki Sakai, who started the first game at right back, has had a bit of a thigh problem, comes into the action. So reorganisation again. Yeah, Ito, look pity. Ito has gone sort of left-sided attacker now, with Sakai going into the right wing-back role.
I actually feel that Kamada's been the best Japanese player. That's a weird one, unless he's carrying an injury or he's completely out of energy, I don't know. But he has been, everything good that's happened come through him. The pace is challenging everything.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say is Moriyasu in this tournament, the Japanese manager, has pretty much got it right every single time, so he'll probably prove us wrong again. But you're right, it's sort of okay, right, let's see how that works then. So Junya Ito playing on the left now, Asano through the middle, Doan is still out there, and substitute Sakai with his luminous yellow boots playing in the right wing back position. Just 15 minutes remaining of the 90. Extra time at the moment beckons. 7 o'clock kickoff tonight, Brazil against South Korea, with Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton, your commentary team for that one. Gvardiol heads the ball away, nodded forward by Tomiyasu. Modric, his header, 50-50, that becomes on the halfway line. Japan given the free kick for the foul on Endo. Just got a little bit scrappy. Just get the feeling both teams are sort of ramping themselves up for the final 15 minutes.
What Japan did really well in the first half was stretching the pitch, not only on, but also wide. And they're not doing that. They're very narrow at the moment.
Here's Mitoma. Mitoma trying to burst free from the halfway line. Sliding challenge by Kovacic. The ball can't find Pasalic, out for a throw-in to Japan on the left.
Yeah, I was saying it's also the length of the pitch. Stretch this Croatian team, stretch them on the length, on the width, get the ball out to the wide players, and then put these crosses in again. And they were threatening in the first half doing that. They haven't done that at all in the second half.
Mitoma right on the halfway line on the left, takes the throw. Yoshida, is tackled by Budimir. That falls for Perisic. This is danger for Japan. Here's Perisic running at Tomiyasu, hits the shot just wide from the left foot, took a touch on the way through. Corner Croatia.
Really good defending by Yoshida. So Perisic is running directly to goal. He's lining up a shot and he fires it away. He just gets in, gets a little nick on it, and it goes out for a corner kick. Had he not touched that ball, that was going in the top corner.
Yeah.
Great defending by Yoshida.
Seen some brilliant blocks in this tournament. Lisandro Martinez with one, Gvardiol with another. That's another important one from Yoshida. 13 minutes to play. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Corner Croatia. Modric with his right foot curls that into the near post. Perisic jumps. The ball lofts up in the air. Pasalic nods it down. Barisic trying to get the shot away. That is a fabulous and brave clearance inside the penalty area. Not sure it was Doan who got it away, and he's taken a whack for his pains as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he's given a free kick for that, but we'll see it now.
Ball bounces loose, doesn't it? Doan gets there, and then is he kicked by Barisic?
I'm not sure that that's a free kick.
But Barisic also might even have half a claim for getting caught himself there. But the referees decided free kick Japan. Still 1-1. Sort of nervous tension around this stadium at the moment.
Yeah, well, again, it's a very interesting phase of the game that we're moving into now. That's 12 minutes on the clock to go. What do? Do you go for it? Do you take your chances with extra time? At the moment, if I was Zlatko Dalic, I'd go for it. It's there for them. They look to be in control. I've said this before. They look to be in control. They also look like they're creating more. The substitutions that he's made up front, he's put Perisic on, Budimir on, it's made a difference.
Endo is fouled by Brozovic. Brozovic not happy with the decision. Referee comes over to explain it. Free kick for Japan. The delivery into the Croatian penalty area all night has been of really high quality, so I think Croatia's defenders need to be on their toes. Noise levels go up again. Doan is over there. Ito is over there. If he takes it, it'll be right foot. Doan would be the in-swinger with the left foot. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Playing for a place in the quarter-finals of the World Cup. Quarter-finals which will start on Friday. And actually, whichever team gets through, they're involved in the first one on Friday. 3 o'clock kickoff. Ito with his right foot. Delivery comes into the box just over Yoshida's head. It might fall to Mitoma. Good first touch. Croatian player in front of him. Nice from Tomiyasu. Cuts it back. I thought he was going to hit the shot. He spun on a sixpence.
What a great ball into Tomiyasu. He didn't know that he was free 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. His instinct was to cross the ball. He should have had a shot.
Yeah.
That was an opportunity. You don't get many of them in these kind of games.
No, I think you're right.
You've got to take them.
He didn't know. He just didn't know, and he just immediately went for the cutback. That one might run through to Asano. Just evades his right boot, and Livakovic picks it up. So 10 minutes to go precisely, plus added time, and then possibly extra time if it remains this way. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Hope you're enjoying it on 5 Live, on BBC Sounds, World Cup Daily Podcast. If you've not already subscribed to that, that's available every morning for you, rounding everything up. Best reaction, debate, analysis on everything going on at this World Cup. England have been doing media duties today, so there'll be plenty of that in there for you. Lots of talk about Jude Bellingham again today. Right-footed ball from Brozovic forward, easily intercepted by Ito. Chance for Japan to come on the counter. Asano, tried to slide it through to Mitoma on the left-hand side. Good interception. Pasalic plays it to the right to Juranovic, looking for Modric. Endo climbs above him. That's a foul, says our referee. Free kick for Croatia.
I've just seen that chance back on the monitor, and if you can remember the Giroud goal yesterday,
yes,
it was very similar to that. The only difference was that Giroud knew that he was 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. Yamatura didn't. He attempted to cross the ball. It wasn't even a great cross.
Croatia in possession. Red and white check shirts down beneath us. Attacking the goal away to our right. Juranovic drives the cross in. Goalkeeper Gonda comes a long way to the edge of his penalty area. Good catch.
Seriously good goalkeeping that. So this is where Croatia, and you can see that deliberately do that. They're challenging Japan's defense with crosses from anywhere really. And they've had some joy doing that. So what you need in these kind of situations is your goalkeeper to come out and pick them out of the air. It just gives so much confidence to your defenders.
Long clearance downfield from Gonda, actually caught Asano offside. Free kick for Croatia. It was interesting actually, when Gonda had the ball in his hands, Sakai, the right wing back, took off at 100 miles an hour, wanted Gonda to go long, hit one of those 70-yarders down the right, and actually Barisic could have been caught out. Juranovic's ball forward to the edge of the box, getting really nervy now. Last 10 minutes of the game. Yoshida is fouled. Japan 1, Croatia 1.
Yoshida's played really well today. Not only did he deliver an assist for the goal, but his defending has been very, very good. And I kind of feel that he's the only one who can defend against the two big guys up front for Croatia, Perisic and Budimir. But he reads the game well, and he's also incredibly quick.
Clearance from Gonda, Japanese goalkeeper, all in yellow. Headed away. Modric flicks a little header in towards Brozovic. Ball is loose on the halfway line. Budimir goes tumbling, so does Morita. Free kick given to Croatia. Not sure about that one either, but
cheap one.
Yeah, but Modric straight to the ball. Run being made by Pasalic down the right. Modric ignores that, goes low to his left to Gvardiol. 7 minutes plus added time away from the first period of extra time at World Cup 2022. Pasalic comes in from the right-hand side, just lays it off to Modric. Modric dummies across with his right foot. Junya Ito thinks he's got him covered. Plays back to the powerfully built Pasalic. There's Lovren. Forward to Brozovic, just inside Japan's half. Kovacic pops up, finds Modric. All three midfielders linking in that move. Juranovic back to Modric, aware of everything going on around him. Saw the challenge coming in, played it to Brozovic. Stayed wide right. Here is Modric. Dummies the cross, beats Morita. Low pass into the feet of Kovacic. Starts to glide forward. Lays it off to Perisic. He's got Juranovic behind him. Swings a couple of lazy dummy legs over the ball. It's almost worked, and Perisic gets the 1-2, but it comes off his left boot and goes behind for a goal kick.
Perisic is having a really, really good game, but I think he should stay on the left-hand side. The two times that I've seen him on the right-hand side, he's given the ball away. But that was a really good passage of play. Very patient by Croatia. A lot of this was organised and orchestrated by Modric. And it was just a little heavy touch from Perisic that took it out for a goal kick.
Asano onto a flick on. Japanese fans excited inside the stadium. Asano looking to beat Gvardiol for pace. Great defending, just runs his body in the way. Asano can't beat him, and Croatia get the goal kick.
They must have had a serious word about how they defended in the first half, because second half they've been excellent. Croatia, absolutely fantastic. They've stopped the crosses. They've apart from one time on the left-hand side, they've stopped the crosses, and they've been in full control of everything. Croatia's, they have been the better side in this second half for sure.
5 minutes to play. Japan 1, Croatia 1 at previous World Cups in terms of knockout games between Asian teams and European teams from the Asian Confederation and UEFA. There have been 9 of them, and South Korea, so far in World Cup history, the only team to come out on top twice when they co-hosted in 2002, beat Italy and Spain on their way to the semi-finals. Japan still well in this at 1-1. The ball's run out of play from Ito, and the manager comes across and says, look, we've had this before, the whole ball didn't cross the line.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was out, but I'm not in a position to say 100%, but it didn't look, from up here, it didn't look like it was out. But then
that was one of the big moments of controversy in this World Cup, of course. Yoshida again, the rock for Japan at the back, clears with his left foot, headed forward by Brozovic, falls to Kovacic, great first touch, tries to run away from Tomiyasu. Perisic back on the left, curls the cross into the far post, headed down and wide. Pasalic was there, couldn't get enough on the header, goal kick Japan.
Yeah, it was a good cross again. Unfortunately for Pasalic, it's a little bit too high. Could only just touch it, and it went out for a goal kick.
Now this game, of course, 6 o'clock kickoff local time. If the 10 o'clock kickoffs local time go into extra time and penalties, that ends up being a very, very late night in Doha. Another Japanese substitution about to be made, and it's Takumi Minamino, formerly of Liverpool, now of Monaco, who's going to be coming on for super sub Ritsu Doan, who was the starter today and was involved in that Japan goal. Brilliant cross in, and he's been a threat all evening again. So Minamino on, 3.5 minutes of the 90 to go, and we are still level pegging here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds at the World Cup. Japan 1, Croatia 1, playing for a place in the quarterfinals. Ball is chested down by Asano. Ito tries to keep it in play on the right. Gvardiol is there, hooks it away with his right foot. Kovacic exchanges the 1-2 with Perisic. Perisic on the spin, outside of his right foot, looking to release a ball to Budimir. Budimir will chase it, but cleared by Gonda. Not the best clearance. It finds Morita. He turns it round the corner to Sakai, who lays the ball back into his own half. Endo is fouled. Free kick Japan. If you have been listening to us, by the way, at work or on the way back from work in the UK this evening, and we do get extra time, pictures are on BBC One of this game. If you go to the iPlayer and you want our commentary with those pictures, you can do that via World Cup Extra. Japan 1, Croatia 1. I think Peter Schmeichel very wisely didn't make a prediction ahead of the game, because we just felt, didn't we, Peter, that it was exactly as it's proved, too tight to call.
That you get to this stage, it is, and in all fairness, if you go by the group games, you know, you just don't know who played the best football. That's another mistake by the referee now. That he's giving a foul away. It's a cross-field pass, and I don't think, I can't see what Japanese player it was. I just cannot see that he did anything wrong.
It's Sakai jumping for a header, and I mean, Barisic doesn't jump, he just stands there, doesn't make a challenge for the ball, takes the contact and goes down, and a few cheap free kicks being won by both teams. Here's Brozovic inside the centre circle. We're into the 89th minute of this game now. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Perisic is frustrated. He made a run down the left. He's got to get himself back on side like a petulant child, stomping back into position. Here's Brozovic to Modric. Modric again looks up, scanning left and right. Low bouncing pass across to Juranovic. Closed down by Mitoma, who's fresh in that left wing back position for Japan. Moriyasu, the manager, applauds the effort again from his team, going head-to-head against top European opposition at this World Cup, having downed Germany and Spain in the group stages, now holding Croatia. Perisic chases his own header forward down the left, and the ball goes out of play for a throw into Japan.
Yeah, we are at that stage now where Japan scored in the first half, so we've got a minute to go in this second half. If I was a Croatian coach, I would feel that there was an opportunity missed here to win the game in ordinary time. And now
90th minute, Mitoma nearly got away on the halfway line. Brozovic is there, forward to Modric. Now could Japan be caught out? Modric playing through the lines here. Budimir lays it off to Kovacic. The flag stays down. Japan thought that might have been offside. Sakai clears with his right foot. That's a Croatian sandwich there on Ito, who's clattered. First yellow card of the game. I told you, Peter, the way he delivers those yellow cards, very dramatic.
Very dramatic, very entertaining. He's giving, I think it's Brozovic who gets a, no, it's Kovacic.
Yeah, who is it gets the yellow? Kovacic.
He gives one of them. It's actually two Croatian players who tackles, or makes the tackle on
Ito.
Is it Ito?
Yeah.
And he gives one of them a yellow card.
Yeah.
And they were equally as bad. And it's
Kovacic.
Kovacic got the yellow card.
Yeah.
It could have been any of them. Am I right in saying that's the first yellow card in the game?
Yeah, it is, because like I said at the start of the game, I was talking about the way that this referee delivers them with a real flourish. That's the first time we've seen it. Kovacic not on a booking already in the competition. He's okay. I meant to say at the start of the game, Modric is the one who has to be careful, because if he gets a yellow card in this game, he would then miss a quarter-final if Croatia go through, potentially against Brazil, or of course South Korea, unless they can pull off the upset. Additional time just went up on the big screen. 4 minutes to be played, and then it'll be extra time. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Another, it's getting so bitty, this game. Free kick Croatia, aerial challenge again from Sakai, again on Barisic, and Barisic wins the decision.
But what's really amazing as well is that when in the group stages we saw 10 and 14 minutes added on, and now we're in this period, the knockout stages, and we're back to normal again.
Yeah.
It's 4 minutes added on.
Yeah, because we've got another 30 minutes to come, probably. Imagine that, 14 minutes of added time, then another 30.
Oh my God.
And then a shootout. Really, I mean, if it does go to a shootout, throw in from the left for Croatia by Perisic. That's a foul by Budimir. On Yoshida, free kick Japan. Really looking forward to having Peter Schmeichel alongside us this evening just to try and get into the goalkeepers' heads for a World Cup penalty shootout. You must have, I mean, in fact, in the Euros, Peter, which you won, there were some big ones, weren't they, for which Denmark won?
Yes, in the Euros '92, we faced Holland in a penalty shootout. Yeah, I've been in a few. It's still a long way to go before we end up with a penalty shootout here.
Yeah, we'll save all that expertise possibly for about 40 minutes time. Peter Schmeichel with us on 5 Live Sport and BBC Sounds. On a knife edge this one, Japan 1, Croatia 1. Croatia winning the ball inside their own half. Brozovic has Modric to his right, ignores him. Plays to Juranovic, back to Modric. Croatia have only made 2 substitutions so far. 3 left, 2 Dalic. Japan have made 4, just the 1 left for them in the second half. Pasalic, back to Brozovic. 2 minutes to play before extra time. Modric across the halfway line. Belgium, of course, scored a very late winner against Japan in the last 16. In Russia, Gvardiol's played the ball straight out of play, throw in for Japan on the right. 90 seconds to go. Is anyone going to be brave in this last bit of the game, or are we settling possibly for...
It looks like both teams are settling for extra time. I would still say that Croatia should maybe have, pushed it a little bit and tried to get that winner, because they had the upper hand for a very long time.
Japan's number 10, Minamino, on the ball. Minute to play. Last minute of added time. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Taniguchi cross to Yoshida. Yoshida plays to his right-hand side, and Tomiyasu comes all the way back to the goalkeeper, Gonda. Gonda and Livakovic will be 2 key players if we go all the way to penalties. Driven ball, what a ball from Gonda for Mitoma, who collects that by the corner flag. Attacking position on the left for Japan. He's being forced back here by Juranovic. He's held on to it, but they've almost come back to the halfway line. Taniguchi plays across, 30 seconds to go. Can Japan get one more excellent delivery into that Croatian penalty area? Mitoma outside of his right foot, looking for the run of Minamino. Look who's there. Modric covers it off, slides in and blocks the pass.
He's been incredible today, Modric. He's been here, there and everywhere. At that age, to still run as much as he does, and and read the danger. He's done that a couple of times today. Read the danger and save the day for Croatia.
10 seconds to play by my watch. Tomiyasu plays to his right. Here's Sakai, back to Tomiyasu. Referee puts the whistle to his lips, and we will have another 30 minutes in the Al Janoub Stadium. Japan 1, Croatia 1. It finishes after 90 minutes. Japan taking the lead late in the first half from Dyson Maeda. Fabulous header from Perisic to level it. And so, Peter Schmeichel, we got another 30 minutes.
Yeah, and it's no surprise. It's how Croatia made their way to the final 4 years ago, by playing it cautiously and not give too much away. But in the second half, I just feel that they had the opportunity to push a little bit and maybe create more chances.
Tea time back in the UK. Settle in, another 30 minutes, possibly penalties on the way for the right to meet Brazil or South Korea in the quarter-finals. 90 minutes played. Japan 1, Croatia 1.
Alistair Bruce-Ball and Peter Schmeichel, thank you very much. We'll be back there for extra time with the guys very, very shortly. It's one of those games that's probably better listened to on the radio, where there's a rounder form of chat, than actually watched. Not the most dramatic of 90 minutes between Japan and Croatia, but the next 30 minutes will decide who goes into a place either against Brazil or South Korea in the quarterfinals. We'll get the rest of the day's sports headlines and be back at the Al Janoub Stadium after the BBC News with Richard Foster.
Take the World Cup with you. Qatar 2022.
On BBC Sounds, this is BBC Radio 5 Live.
7 children across the UK are now known to have died from the bacterial infection Strep A. The latest death is a 12-year-old pupil from a school in South East London. Most cases are mild, but the government says parents should watch out for symptoms. Jurors in the trial of Manchester City's Benjamin Mendy, who's accused of rape, have retired to consider their verdicts. The 28-year-old and his friend, 41-year-old Louis Saha Machuri, are facing a number of charges of sexually assaulting young women, which they both deny. The Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer says people in the UK are being held back by a broken model that hoards power in Westminster. The party's published a report promising big changes, including abolishing the House of Lords and handing more powers to local authorities and devolved government. And the Met Office has issued a warning about severe cold in the UK this week, with overnight temperatures falling as low as -6 Celsius. Snow is likely in northern Scotland, although temperatures will be low enough to make it possible anywhere. Frost and ice are also expected.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Listen live on digital, online, smart speaker or the BBC Sounds app.
The latest travel and the M1. Big problems for you near Nottingham. So southbound is where a tanker caught fire. 28 at Alfreton to 26 at Nottingham. Still completely closed southbound. Queues are backing up way past junction 28 and on surrounding routes through Derby, Nottingham and Ilkeston. Then we've got the M1 closed northbound for the same incident. 26 to 27 at Hucknall and queues back to Nottingham again at junction 25. And the A303 still closed in both directions at Podimore near the roundabout of the A37. That's for investigation work. Orna Merchant, 5 Live Travel.
BBC 5 Live.
The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022 with Kelly Capes.
Welcome back to our studio in Doha. We're going to go back to the Al Janoub Stadium very shortly for extra time in Japan against Croatia, which finished 1-1 after 90 minutes. Then later on, we're going to go to Brazil against South Korea at the 974 Stadium. Earlier, England's cricketers beat Pakistan in dramatic fashion in the final few minutes of the first test in Rawalpindi. With the light fading and the tension building, Jack Leach removed Naseem Shah to leave Pakistan 268 all out, 75 short of their target of 343. Much more on this in the latest TMS podcast, and you can download that right now at BBC Sounds. Meanwhile, Brazil are getting ready to leave their team hotel, which means in the background, in about 2 minutes, you should be able to hear the helicopter going over our studio, which is just round the corner from where the Brazil team are staying. Pelé has tweeted ahead of that match. There's been so much written about Pelé's health. He tweeted, "In 1958, I walked the streets thinking about fulfilling the promise I made to my father. I know that today many have made similar promises and are also going in search of their first World Cup. I'll be watching the game from hospital and rooting for each one of you. Good luck as Brazil get set to face South Korea." Your commentator for that one will be Ian Dennis. Deno, Brazil bidding for a place in the quarters, South Korea the team trying to stop them.
Yes, and of course Brazil without Gabriel Jesus and Alex Telles, who've both been ruled out for the tournament. They've got injury doubts over Danilo and Alexandro as well. But Neymar, who's missed the last 2 matches, could return after an ankle injury, while South Korea will hope that the Napoli defender Kim Min-jae will be back from injury to bolster their defence.
Deno, thank you very much. We will, of course, be live to the 974 Stadium for a 7 o'clock kickoff between Brazil and South Korea. The winner of that one will face the winner of Japan against Croatia. They couldn't be separated after 90 minutes. That game finished 1-1. Japan took the lead. Perisic with an equaliser for Croatia. Has the striker, who also plays beach volleyball for Croatia, spiked Japan's chances of reaching the quarter-finals. With you for extra time, Peter Schmeichel and Alistair Bruce Ball.
Lovely stuff. Thank you, Kelly. Perfect timing as well. The whistle blows, 30 minutes, and if they're still level after that, then we're into a penalty shootout this evening. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Just talking about famous number 10s, the likes of Pelé and possibly Neymar back in action for Brazil this evening. Really important number 10s both out there now for these two nations. Luka Modric, of course, in the heart of the Croatian midfield, but Takumi Minamino, great player for Japan, being used in little bits as a sub at this tournament, out there now. Japan all in blue. They've already made 4 changes, so just 1 substitution left available to them for this period of extra time. Croatia have made just the 2, so 3 available to Zlatko Dalic. Japan in the blue shirts, yellow numbers on their backs, blue shorts and blue socks, red and white trim all over the kit, playing from left to right. Big roar as the whistle blew for the start of extra time, and then that nervous tension, you can feel it again. Lovely ball across here towards Sakai, and Japan win the first corner of this first period of extra time. Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah, I think they've gone back to how they played in the first half, keeping it wide. Those cross-field passes that we saw in the first half as well, that led to some of the crosses that Croatia they were struggling with dealing with. This was a great cross-field pass, and
this setup, Peter, is how they scored, wasn't it? Corner from the right, and Minamino's in the Doan position here. But let's see what Ito does. Ito has the ball on the edge of the quadrant. It looks like he's just going to deliver it in with his right foot. He does. It's an away swing. Flicked header, but the angle was too tight there. And Taniguchi couldn't get that ball on target. That has gone behind for a goal kick. So Japan 1, Croatia 1. Japan now, having made the 4 changes, Gonda in goal, Tomiyasu, Yoshida, Taniguchi, the 3 centre-backs, Sakai on as right-back, Karu Matoma of Brighton is the left wing-back, Endo and Morita in central midfield, Minamino, Asano and Junior Ito are the front 3. Livakovic, Croatia's goalkeeper, clears. That's a brilliant leap and header from Yoshida. And Brozovic plays the ball to Juranovic, who's the right back, Barisic left back, Lovren and Gvardiol the 2 centre-backs. Still Modric, Brozovic and Kovacic, who's on the yellow card as the midfield 3 for Croatia. Long ball forward there, goes all the way behind for a Japanese goal kick. And their 2 changes have come up front. So Mario Pasalic has come on, Perisic wide on the left, the goal scorer, and Ante Budimir, who is playing as the centre forward.
Yeah, both of them, when they came on, they had an impact. And Croatia changed the way of playing a little bit by actually kicking a few balls up to them, keeping the Japanese defence under pressure. And the goal, of course, came from that as well. A pass from Lovren into Perisic, who scored with an absolutely unbelievable header.
Oh, pace on that header. Tomiyasu clears with his right foot. Brozovic chests it down, goes for the Modric ball with the outside of his right boot, easily intercepted by Taniguchi. And here come Japan at speed down the left-hand side. Minamino just making a run beyond here. Into the penalty area it goes. Asano can't control it. Barisic is able to clear with his left foot, but Endo is there first for Japan. Endo wide on the left-hand side, plays back to the halfway line towards Yoshida. Yoshida across to Taniguchi. Taniguchi plays to his left. Minamino gets involved. And Japan again just come out to go from left to right. And here's Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu's got Sakai wide on his right, lofts one over the top. Gvardiol heads it away, bounces in front of Brozovic, heads it to his right. Modric lets it run across his body, nudges it down the line for Pasalic. Taniguchi's there, and he wins the throw for Japan.
It's exciting every time Japan they presses the accelerator and actually come at Croatia with a little bit of pace. The crowd begins to roar, and it's just the little final detail, you know, the concentration on the final pass that lets him down.
Another good example there, actually. You just heard that buzz inside the stadium. Japan have won themselves a corner. Asano couldn't catch the pass from Minamino, which took a deflection, but as we keep saying tonight, the delivery from the set pieces and the crosses in open play has been very, very good for Japan. They've worked on some clever moves as well. Here comes Minamino to offer himself for the short one again. 4.5 minutes gone in the first period of extra time. 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Minamino's curling cross, having received the short corner into the far post. Tomiyasu is up, clash of heads. Referee immediately blows the whistle. Tomiyasu is down, so is one of the Croatian defenders. So we've got to get the medical team on the field as quickly as we possibly can. We hope they're okay.
They have some really good corner kicks routines. This was a different one as well. Again, a short corner, and they came back in, back to the guy who I couldn't see who took the corner, and that crossing, it just gets that little bit of movement in the box, and that was not a bad cross. It was very well defended, but Yoshida, it was a classic hit. I don't know what the referee's doing now.
I tell you what, Pasalic took a knock on the head. He was the one who went down. He's picked himself up and he's run up field to get in position. The referee said, no, because you went down, you're going to have to go off to come back on. And what about Tomiyasu? Yeah, he's got to do the same. So we've got Pasalic over on the fast.
Did he get treatment?
That's a good point, actually, Peter. I'm not sure he did. I think he picked himself up before they got there.
So is that a new rule then?
I don't know.
Now they both come on.
We're on.
Oh my God.
We're back to where we were. Don't worry. Gvardiol's ball down the left-hand side. Perisic, the goal scorer for Croatia, flicks the ball on. Great night for him tonight. Obviously won't be if they don't go through, but in terms of personal milestones, 10 goals in major tournaments, which has him out in front on his own for his nation, going beyond the great Davor Šuker. Here's Gvardiol, who's got so much promise as a young Croatian international. Perisic with a first-time ball, opening his body up. Barisic can't keep it in wide on the left, and the ball goes out for a throw into Japan in the right-back position. I was just saying, Peter, before we came back on for the second half, sometimes 30 minutes of extra time can be absolutely brilliant ding-dong football. Other times, not much happens, and we get to penalties.
Yeah, and you know, you're so close to getting into a quarter-final, and yet you're so far away. So even being on the pitch, it's very, very difficult to sort of find out, strike the balance of what you're going to do. Are you going to go full in? Are you going to be a little bit sort of reluctant? Are you going to be passive defensive? What are you going to do? Where is your belief? What do you feel? And I said this towards the end of the second half. I kind of felt that Croatia had an opportunity to just push a little bit on, and then maybe create an opportunity that could have stopped them from going into this. So scored a goal and actually won it in normal time. This opens it up. Croatia to anything really.
Yeah, Croatia getting ready to make the double change. Lovro Majer and Nikola Vlasic, formerly of Everton and West Ham. Machida under pressure, edge of the box. Budimir tries to block his pass away. Endo also struggling to get it clear. Morita is caught by Modric. That'll be a free kick for Japan. So Vlasic, who actually started the first game, still belongs to West Ham, of course, as a player currently on loan at Torino.
Modric's coming off.
Yeah, number 10 went up.
Yeah, Modric.
You're right. Modric, who has scored in both the penalty shootouts in the World Cup 4 years ago on Croatia's path to the final, their most important player. Surely, yeah, armband is coming off. Wow.
No, that was number 10 coming up there,
yeah. That is a really, really interesting change made by the manager, Zlatko Dalic. Kovacic and Modric are coming off. Vlasic and Lovro Majer of Rennes are coming on. I mean, Kovacic and Modric, I would have thought, not only could they seriously impact extra time, but penalty time. I mean, Modric would absolutely 100% be a penalty taker. High five with the manager, absolutely no complaints. Model professional Luka Modric, if they lose this game,
he might just think, that he's running out of steam.
Yeah.
And then what's the point of keeping him on if for the penalties, if he's running out of steam and Japan, are playing against 9 men.
Yeah, still plenty of time to go actually in this extra time. 8 minutes through the first period of it. Here at Japan, trying to make something happen, edge of the Croatian penalty area. Perisic with a pass to no one in particular. Morita intercepts it. Asano can't collect that. It goes straight through to Livakovic, Croatia's goalkeeper, all in bright green, away to our right. Black number 1 on his back, matching his black goalkeeping gloves. Man in the black mask, Gvardiol, plays a ball across the face of the penalty area. Tension building minute by minute. Place in the quarterfinals at stake. Pasalic chasing a ball down the right-hand side. Budimir thought about cutting off the back pass, can't get there in time. Gonda, the Japanese goalkeeper, clears with his right foot, made the one stunning save in the second half from the Modric strike that was heading for the top corner, and Endo has passed the ball straight out of play.
That was some strike, that could have been the moment. But what a great save that was. And we're seeing pictures here of Modric coming out, and Vida, who actually played every game in the last World Cup, who's now just a substitute. He's giving him a big hug. Modric played really well today, and I'm impressed for at the age of 37 to be able to do what he's been doing in this game, which is not just playing, not just creating, and not just being the meister of Croatia's attacking play. He's also defended well. He's read 2 situations where he came back. He was the last man, got a tackle in. And there's no wonder that he's tired. He's 37 years old,
Long throw into the Japanese penalty area. Might drop it to Perisic on the right foot. Sakai blocks it. Left foot volley from Barisic was optimistic. Struck it well. That one's also blocked. Goes out for a throw-in to Croatia on the left. Luka Modric has played in major tournaments in 3 different decades for Croatia, which in itself is ridiculous.
Incredible. And, when he retires and the documentary comes out, 10-part documentary on on one of the streaming services, that's going to be some viewing. He's got some stories. Incredible history he's got.
Japanese substitutes.
This ref,
Japanese substitute influenced the ref to make Croatia take the throw about 2 yards back down the left-hand touchline. I don't know why he's getting involved in that, because he didn't make the decision on his own accord there. And now Japan win a free kick in their right back position. Modric is talking about playing the Euros in 2024 at the age of 39 as well, Peter. So
he's fit. We've seen that today. He's fit. He might not be able to go 120 minutes, but he can certainly go 90 minutes. And there's no point in the 90 minutes where you felt, whoa, you got to take him off because now he's just, you know, he's not doing his job. He's fit for 90 minutes, no doubt about that. He's a small guy as well. Yeah. He's always been very, very fit. And, you know, if he looks after himself, why not? It's only another 2 years. It's not unrealistic to play Euros when you're 39.
Livakovic rolls the ball out for Croatia, so we've got 3 minutes remaining in this first period of extra time on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Japan 1, Croatia 1, and not much has happened in terms of sort of action in the goal mouths in this first period of extra time. It's got very cagey. Down the left, the ball is played. Vlasic is on his knees trying to keep it. Endo eventually takes it off him, looks for the pass down the right-hand side. Asano can't get beyond Gvardiol. Gvardiol holds him off, plays back to his goalkeeper.
We saw a little bit of the what's in wait for when we see this Gvardiol player, when we see him go forward. So he was on the turn against a really, really quick player, but he was quicker than him.
Yeah.
And that is something that, you know, the big clubs were looking at when they look at defenders. Are they quick on the turn?
Oh, Asano, loose header. Pasalic not able to get onto it. Matoma there for Japan, plays back to his goalkeeper, Gonda. That's exactly what we were talking about. Just one slip, one mistake, one risk too many, and it could cost you in this last 16 game. Now a chance for Croatia to bring it in from the right-hand side. That's the other substitute, Lovro Majer. Rennes player, signed not this season before, to replace Eduardo Camavinga here with France, now at Real Madrid. Majer dummies across, started the first game at this tournament for Croatia, now off the bench in extra time, still 1-1. Brozovic on the ball, 15 yards inside the Japanese half, and they play back to the centre-back, Lovren across to Barisic. Barisic gets an early cross in from deep. That is headed away by Taniguchi, chested down on the edge of the box and volleyed away by Minamino. And can Croatia keep that in play? Yes, Juranovic runs hard and does so. Talking about Luka Modric at 39, let's not forget Jimmy Anderson at the age of 40 has been part of that amazing first test win for England over in Pakistan today. Test match special podcast with all the news and interviews for you, available via the BBC Sounds app. Tomiyasu clears, chested down majestically by Lovren, laid off to Brozovic, looking for the slide pass through, intercepted by Tomiyasu, breaks nicely for Minamino, bit of space to work with. Matoma takes over. Matoma's got 2 players ahead of him to his right-hand side. Matoma going to go it alone, edge of the box. Oh, Livakovic blocks it with both hands. Driven shot, was heading for the net. Volley from the edge of the box, blocked by Brozovic. Danger not clear for Croatia just yet. Sakai, ball into the near post. Gvardiol heads it away. Tomiyasu jumps, heads it across goal. Volleyed effort from the edge of the box. That is blocked, and I think that's going to run behind. Corner Japan.
And as you might be able to hear in the background, that got the crowd going. It was a great counter-attack, 3 versus 3, and we see the end shot is actually straight at the goalkeeper, so there's no problem for that. But what a great attack that was, and this is where Croatia's got to be very, very careful. Don't give the ball away in the situations that they did there, because that's what Japan can do. They can hurt you on the counter. We've seen that against Germany. We've seen it against Spain.
Right at the end of the first period of extra time, Japanese corner. Matoma away swinger. Ball loose inside that Croatian box again. Endo plays it back out to the right. Rolled back by Ito, no pace at all on that. Minamino takes his time, crossing with his left foot, headed back across goal. Gvardiol underneath it, knocks it straight up in the air. Livakovic says my ball, and takes a clean catch like a cricketer out on the boundary, watching it all the way into his arms, and it looks like we are going to reach the end of the first period of extra time level. Yeah. Still 1-1.
That's 2 added minutes to this first period of extra time, and that was an opportunity for Japan. They have a couple of good crosses in there after the initial shot, and it just shows you that they're still there. It hasn't looked like that for a long time in this game, but don't give them an inch, because they will get opportunities out of that.
That's what they've done in this tournament, in those famous wins against Germany and Spain. Brozovic wide on the right inside the Japanese half, curling ball in towards Budimir, brings that down brilliantly at full stretch, plays it back here to Vlasic. Vlasic, socks rolled down, ball out to the right, cross in from Brozovic towards the far post, headed away by Sakai, falls to a teammate Ito in midfield. Sakai having won the header, makes a brilliant run to get onto that pass, and here come Japan. Poor touch from the centre forward Asano, gets away from him, and Lovren's able to play it back to Livakovic.
Yeah, well played by Lovren. He read that situation really well. That could have been a dangerous situation as well, but Lovren, I criticised him a little bit in the first half for being in between positions and not in the right spot most of the time, but he's really played well in the second half. And of course the equalising goal came from a cross by Lovren.
20 seconds remaining, end of the first period of extra time. In that break, in that little half-time break, going to draw up the old penalty grid on the back of the commentary notes to get ready for it. Whistle goes. So Japan 1, Croatia 1. Livakovic with the pretty comfortable save, you would have to say, from the Mitoma shot. Japanese players immediately come to the touchline, taking loads of fluids on board. Croatian players dragging themselves towards their dugout as well. 15 more minutes to go. Kelly, Japan 1, Croatia 1.
You say that with such relish in your voice, Ali, that there's 15 more minutes of this game to go. Peter, it has petered out slightly.
Yeah, I think right here at the end of this first period, it livened up a little bit. This counter-attack by Japan that ended in a shot, and eventually they got a corner kick out and a few crosses in. It must have given them a little bit of hope, because they have been pegged back. They have been under pressure from Croatia, who's played very patiently, and when the opportunity shown themselves, put these difficult crosses in that the big guys up front, Palisic, Budimir, that they've dealt with quite well. But in fact, for the first period, it was Japan who came out on top. And again, now they have to make a decision, because penalties, it's a lottery. What are you going to do? Are we going to go for it now? There are some very tired legs out there. Even though there's air conditioning in this stadium, it's still very hot. It's very humid, and you get tired very easy. So what's going to happen in the next 15 minutes? It's going to be interesting to wait and see.
Going to be very interesting, especially with penalties to come, and no Luka Modric on the field, because Croatia have made a substitution 7 minutes into this period of added time, and Japan huddled at the side of the pitch as one player makes his way over a little bit late, because they've made a substitution as well, Ali.
Yes, well spotted, Kelly. Hadn't even seen that myself. Tanaka is coming on. That is their last change in central midfield, and he comes on for Hidemasa Morita. So we're 15 minutes away from a penalty shootout. Ao Tanaka started both the wins against Germany and Spain. Scored the winner, of course. Actually, it was off his knee, wasn't it? That winner against Spain, the controversial one, the cutback from Mitoma from the byline. And Croatia are also going to make a double change. Marko Livaja is coming on to offer a forward threat, as is Mislav Orsic as well. Wonder if they may well take some penalties for Croatia. Budimir only came on quite late in the game.
Maybe he's not a penalty taker.
That could be it, couldn't it? Livaja on for Budimir. And
it's a strange one, because he's actually played quite well.
Yeah.
He might be carrying something that we don't know about.
Yeah. Here's Mitoma getting away from Pasalic down the left-hand side. Japan 1, Croatia 1, playing for a place in the quarterfinals at this World Cup. The quarterfinals we already know. Netherlands-Argentina, 7 o'clock on Friday. England-France, 7 o'clock on Saturday. All of them in full coverage of every match for you on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Brazil-South Korea is our commentary from 7 o'clock this evening with Ian Dennis and Chris Sutton. Chris Sutton, a player who Peter must have come up against during his career. Do you remember Chris?
Yeah, I'm still a little bit sore.
And throw in on the left for Japan, which Mitoma will take. And Peter and I are both still scribbling down all these changes. I think that's it now, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6. Extra one and extra time being able to be made. So Croatia have done theirs. Ball is back with Yoshida. Yoshida with his right foot plays the ball up the middle of the pitch. Now Gvardiol reads it well, not only makes the interception, continues his run forward and looks for the pass down the left-hand side to Mislav Orsic. Didn't find him. Here at Japan.
He must have gotten a knock, Budimir, because it's a weird one. if you're making the substitution because of the penalty shootout, you would wait, wouldn't you? You'd think you'd wait at least 5-7 minutes.
Perisic, the other player to go off, of course, who again I would have fancied, you know, with his experience and his skills to take a penalty, but those are the changes Zlatko Dalic has made.
Well, he's 33 years old. He's run up and down, up and down, up and down. He's really played a good game. And you know, when you play on the wing, you are up and down literally all the time. And he, you know, he might just be tired.
13 minutes to play. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Peter Schmeichel with us here live in the Al Janoub Stadium, this distinctive, futuristic ground, which I think looks a bit like, from the outside, the sort of aerial shot and the external shots, a bit like a sort of a cycling, aerodynamic kind of cycling helmet that you see those riders wear inside the velodrome. Ball cleared into the Croatian half. Juranovic clears with his right foot, headed away by Taniguchi. Pasalic will try and keep it in on the right-hand side. Manages to do so, then trying to muscle his way past Mitoma. He's bigger than Mitoma, but didn't have the balance. Mitoma sets off down the left-hand side. He's chased by Maya, drags it back, plays the ball into midfield. That's a stretch, but Japan are able to keep that with Tanaka, who's on for this second period of extra time, so he'll certainly be fresh. Tanaka plays across to Tomiyasu, wide to the right-hand side to Sakai, back to Tomiyasu again. Are either team going to be brave enough here, really, to take a risk, press forward and try and find themselves a goal? 1-1.
Well, in terms of system, Croatia's not changed anything. They're playing precisely the same system as they played in the first minute.
Sakai's ball finds Mitoma, edge of the area, right-footed pass. Gvardiol gets a block on it, headed forward to the edge of the box. Cushion pass by Tanaka out to the right, too much on it. And Sakai can't keep it in, throwing Croatia in their left-back position.
Yeah, there was a good opportunity for Mitoma. I think he picked the wrong option there. He could have had a shot. It would actually be more natural. He just cut inside and have a shot. But he tried to cross the ball, and it was behind all his teammates, and Croatia could clear the ball quite easily.
11 minutes remaining, time ticking away. We're heading towards a penalty shootout as it stands. Japan 1, Croatia 1. So stay tuned on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. I know that's no fun if you're a Japanese fan or a Croatian fan, but for the neutrals, they love them. Free kick Croatia inside their own half. And goalkeepers nowadays, of course, Peter, will have the little notes, won't they? They've done all the studying on who goes where and who does what. And
yeah, very true.
Yeah. Mind games.
Mind games.
Yeah.
Well, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
We've still got time.
You keep reminding me. Brozovic plays to the left. The ball up in the air, got scrappy again. Barisic blocks it, throwing for Japan on the right-hand side. Sakai wanted Yoshida to run into space for him. Yoshida's saying, look, I'm one of the old ones as well. I'm absolutely gassed here, so I'm not going to do that. And Sakai continues to wait to take this throw. Then Yoshida makes the run, volleys it forward, and Japan might be able to work something here. Ball across the halfway line from Minamino, wide to Mitoma. Mitoma drops the shoulder onto his right foot, looking for that slide pass to Minamino, intercepted. Maya plays it back towards Juranovic, under a bit of pressure. Croatia's right back does well, clears with his right foot. Easy header won by Taniguchi. The ball bounces loose. Gvardiol is there first, lobs it up in the air. Pasalic bumps into a couple of Japanese defenders. Chance now for Maya to get away down the right-hand side, and Croatia are getting bodies in the box. I can see Vlasic in there for one. Pasalic as well, cross to the far post, headed away, chested down on the edge of the box by Orsic. Now he's claiming corner, referee agrees, corner for Croatia.
That was a corner, very good opportunity to cross the ball in by Maya. He hit the only Japanese player in the box. There's 2 Croatian players in there. But it turned out to be a corner, and that, again, you know, opportunity for Croatia now to score a goal.
Last 10 minutes of the game, second period of extra time. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Corner for Croatia from the left. In it comes. Goalkeeper Gonda punches away, gets enough on it, spins off his gloves, away to the left, goes out for a throw into Croatia.
Yeah, very good goalkeeping again. You know, we're at the point in the game where everyone's a bit tired, and what defenders really want is for the goalkeeper to come out and control crosses, and he did that very, very well.
Juranovic takes the throw midway inside the Japanese half, so it's Croatia pressing for an extra time winner at the moment. Penalty shootout against Denmark, last 16 in Russia, then came through one against the hosts as Brozovic curls a ball in, beat England in extra time in the semi-finals. Meyer flicks it up in the air, keeps possession, starts a run to his right. Juranovic stretches to keep that ball in play. Here's Brozovic, so he's lost his buddies Modric and Kovacic, and his pass forward is blocked by Tanaka. Throw in Croatia. Time ticking down, 112 minutes, so 8 minutes to go. Japan 1, Croatia 1. 7 o'clock tonight on 5 Live. Brazil against South Korea. 2 more World Cup commentaries tomorrow from the last 16. 3 o'clock is Morocco against Spain. 7 o'clock is Portugal against Switzerland. Then you take a breath for a couple of days, and then we get into the quarterfinals on Friday. Juranovic waiting to take this throw. It'll be a long one. In it comes. Edge of the box, flicked on by Vlasic, ball is up in the air. Oh, goalkeeper gave a shout, catches it on the bounce. That was a nervous moment. Sakai did leave it as he was instructed. Quick clearance downfield from Gonda. Ito stretches. Gvardiol is there again for Croatia. Plays back to Livakovic. Livakovic clears with his right foot. He was closed down by Asano. Header one on the halfway line by Japan. Tanaka is bumped to the floor, doesn't get the free kick. Game is suddenly opening up at the moment in this second period of extra time. Meyer looking good on the ball, turns away from a challenge. Brozovic got to be careful. Holds off Tanaka. Little 1-2 on the left with Barisic. Brozovic strokes a pass infield. Layoff from Orsic, not a good one. Couldn't find Levaya. Japan have given the ball away though. Brozovic again, just moving to his left. Vlasic is able to turn. Barisic forward, gets the cross in towards the far post. That is beyond Pasalic, chased out to the left by Mitoma. He wants to let that go. Oh, Pasalic did well there. He flicked the ball onto Mitoma.
Well, yeah, fantastically well. And he wanted throwing out of absolutely nothing, but the way he did it got the small Croatian crowd going. But it's that end. They're at that end where they're attacking now, so that's got to have a little bit of an effect on the Croatian players.
Juranovic, long throw into the near post area, dangerous flicked on. Gonda jumps and claims it under pressure from Pasalic. Goalkeeper was favourite there, made sure he got it, immediately fires it downfield. Asano is chased by Gvardiol. Asano is absolutely on his own, but he does have the ball for Japan. Gvardiol right behind him. Now he's looking for support. He's done so well for his team there. Endo plays back into his own half. 6 minutes to go. Japan 1, Croatia 1. 6 minutes plus added time away from the first penalty shootout here at the 2022 World Cup.
What a great play by Gonda. That's the second time he's got the ball, and then straight away kicked it up the other end to Asano.
Sorry, Peter. Lays it off here to Endo. Plays it to the right-hand side to Sakai. Sakai's cutback. Gvardiol is there again for Croatia, reading it so well. Japan get to the loose ball inside the Croatian half. Taniguchi. Low pass to his left to find Mitoma. Mitoma has got some wonderful skills. Decides not to use them this time. Doesn't take his man on. Tanaka plays it across to the right-hand side. Here's Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu down the inside right channel. Little layoff from Ito here to Endo. Endo finds space. Cross into the far post. Juranovic stretches, heads it away. Mitoma nods it back. Livakovic off his line. Catches the ball in both hands.
Yeah, there's a little bit of, a little bit of emphasis now from Japan, trying to score, committing a few people forward, and it all comes from a couple of really good deliveries from Gonda up towards Asano, and as you can hear, the crowd gets going, and that makes the players believe that they can do something. No big chances, but a lot of intention, if you like.
Yeah, that's a brilliant tackle from Endo on Brozovic, and that is a foul on Ito from Barisic. Free kick for Japan. Barisic has actually hurt himself making the challenge. I think he'll get booked. Let's see. Is it Willie? Yeah, here we go. Look, he's going to wait, the referee, because he likes this moment. Peter, watch. Standing there in his bright orange shirt. Look at me, he's saying, look at me. Can everyone see me?
Oh, he's got it.
Look, he's hiding
the card.
He's hiding it.
Yeah, and
wait. I'll tell you what it needs, Peter. It needs a woo. Here we go. He's on his feet. Bang. Yellow card for Barisic.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with the decision. It's more the delivery.
Yeah, the delivery. Well, it's entertaining. It's entertaining. We're so close now to a penalty shootout here. Dramatic way, of course, to win a knockout tie. Absolutely heartbreaking way to lose one. And you know that one player on either team, or at least one player, is going to feel absolutely horrible by the end of this game. Livakovic bowls the ball out underarm here into the Croatian midfield. 3.5 minutes plus added time. left in the game. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Juranovic plays back to Lovren. Maida's goal came just before half-time. Perisic equalised in the 56th minute. And that's where we are right now. Gvardiol crosses the halfway line. Japan have all of their players behind the ball. Croatia attacking, looking for this dramatic late winner.
It's an extraordinary tactic, but just because we've done it 4 years ago, you know, we've taken it into extra time and then penalties we've gone through, that you're doing that again. I won't say they're doing this on purpose.
Cross in from Gvardiol, good header won again by Yoshida. Juranovic plays it back to the edge of the box. Maya is able to lay this off to Brozovic. Brozovic dummies the first time cross, plays it to Maya. Maya, corner of the Japanese penalty area, again thought about the delivery into the box, left it, plays it to Juranovic, closed down quickly, great tackle at the back by Taniguchi, cleared by Endo. Asano on his own, turns into Gvardiol. Gvardiol wins it into the last 2.5 minutes of the game. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Brozovic, this time the ball does go into the box, headed away by, of course, Yoshida, chested down by Ito, had to be careful with that one. Tomiyasu clears on the half volley, out for a throw into Croatia.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's not that Croatia's done this on purpose. They played for the penalties. It's just the way the game is developed, and of course the longer you go in the game, you're not taking any risks, you're not taking chances, committing people forward, but
might be one here. Yeah, 2 minutes to go. That's Vlasic who chests it down. Barisic on the supporting run. Cross comes in. Ball drops inside the Japan box. Mitoma leans forward, heads it away. Asano flicks it on up to the halfway line. Gvardiol is there, nods it down to Lovren. Lovren right on the centre circle. Plays the ball into midfield. Vlasic across to Brozovic. Brozovic first time. Spins it out to the right. Juranovic got so much time here to make this cross. I think he's overhit that to the far post. No, nodded down. Vlasic is there. Takes a touch on the edge of the box onto his right foot. Lays it back to Barisic. Another cross comes in. That's closed down by Tanaka. Tanaka's gone down. It's hit him in the head. Ball's gone out for a throw into Croatia. The game will stop.
Juranovic had so much time on the ball and then he delivered such a deep cross. He should have put it right in front of goal, in between the goalkeeper and the defender. He had time to do that. There was no pressure on him. I think that would have that was an opportunity that got that they've missed here.
Tanaka's in some trouble at the moment. Medical team coming on. I think one of his teammates there was actually encouraging to get up before the medical team came on so that he wouldn't have to go off the field, because Croatia have a throw late on in this game. We're into the last minute plus a bit of added time. Does he have to go off?
So yeah, he's walking off, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, you're right. Tanaka off, throwing Croatia, attacking position on the left. Japan had their hearts broken by Belgium very late on in the last 16 in Rostov 4 years ago. Is it going to happen again, or are we heading to penalties? Gvardiol chips a ball out to the left-hand side. Barisic tries to use what last strength he has to get a cross in. It's gone miles up in the air. Mitoma underneath it, chests it down, under pressure here in the left-back position. Clears on the turn. 10 seconds remaining, then we're into added time. Japan 1, Croatia 1. 5 live on BBC Sounds. 1 minute. 1 minute of added time. 1 minute away from penalties. Can Croatia fashion a late chance? Brozovic trying to get that ball out to the left. It could come now. Sakai trying to do the defending. Couldn't make the challenge. Shot comes in. Great block. And the ball runs out to Asano. Can Japan counter? No, they've given the ball away. Vlasic wins it back for Croatia. Could be important. Edge of the box. Maya shoots wide. That was the chance. That is wide. I think we're heading to penalties.
You don't get a bigger opportunity than that. I mean, the Japanese defense is all over the place. And you get a clear shot from 18 yards, right from the middle of the goal. You can place it, you can hit it hard, but hit the target. He didn't. What an opportunity to win the game and send his team into the quarterfinals.
Drag the shot wide. 1 minute of added time is up. So now at the referee's discretion, he looks at his watch. Again, one thing we'll be watching for in the penalty shootout, of course, is goalkeepers coming off the line, like Hugo Lloris with the initial penalty save against Lewandowski. And the full-time whistle blows. End of the second period of extra time. Japan 1, Croatia 1. Late chance there, Kelly, for Lovro Mayer. He couldn't take it, so we will have our first penalty shootout at this World Cup. 1-1.
Peter, there was a late chance for Croatia, but the way that extra time so often plays out is that teams become frightened to lose the game rather than playing to win. And there were a couple of shots on goal, but at that stage the players were just being ultra cautious.
Yeah, I mean, I think in football you have to invest to score goals. So you have to invest in terms of putting people forward. You have to challenge. And I think both teams, especially in the extra time, played it safe. So instead of maybe passing that ball into what could be an opportunity, they turned around and passed it backwards. But I really do feel that Croatia had the opportunity to take this game by the scruff of its neck and just go away with it. They didn't. They found something when they scored. They found something that was a little bit of a weakness in the Japanese defense, and they never followed it up. And they had the ball for a long time and never really created anything. And the chance right at the end here came of mistakes by Japanese players. And oh my God, you get an opportunity like that. I wonder if Maya's going to take a penalty. You know, is that going to play on his mind?
Kelly, John Southwell, our producer's just passed me an interesting stat. The team going second in World Cup penalty shootouts has won the last 6. So in the last 6 World Cup penalty shootouts, wow, the team going second has won them.
That's something to look out for once we see who's going to be going first in this one. But Peter, I was just on that point you made about knowing that is going to maybe be playing on his mind as he steps up to take that penalty. If you're in goal for a penalty shootout, is that what you're thinking? Are you thinking I might have one over him here?
Well, I very often have this conversation with people, and I find myself the odd one out because I had the ability to clear my mind. I also didn't want to have any kind of information from anyone about the penalty shooters because I always felt that a penalty shootout for a goalkeeper is a lottery. You don't have any control over nothing. You're not control over, you know, the angle, the run up, the timing, you know, where he's going to place it, what pace, what height, nothing. So I always did that. Once we're in this period now, I don't know who's going to take the penalties. I've made my mind up now. I'm going to go left, right, left, or something. But I've made my mind up that is it.
Just had the coin toss here, Kelly. I think Maya Yoshida won the coin toss. He pointed to his left-hand side. The majority of the Japanese fans are away to our left-hand side. We're now spinning the coin again. I thought that's where we were heading for the penalties. Again, the referee chats to Maya Yoshida and to the captains Dejan Lovren, shakes hands with the pair of them, players in the centre circle, and we're just about ready to go, Kelly.
Thank you very much for that. Just before we do get underway, we can have a quick word with Chris Sutton, who's at the 974 Stadium ahead of Brazil against South Korea, which is one that everybody's going to be interested in, particularly at the Al Janoub, because whoever wins this penalty shootout is going to be facing either Brazil or South Korea. Chris Sutton, the other thing to say is that your reputation as a predictions guru is on the line here. You went Japan-Croatia after 90, Japan after extra time, but okay, we could give you this one if Japan get through on penalties.
Yeah, I mean, my reputation is normally on the line, Kelly, anyway. But, oh, yeah, you know, it's too tight to call, really. I was thinking Japan on penalties, but then I went Japan in extra time. But let's see. Very exciting.
It is very exciting, as will be Brazil against South Korea. Chris Sutton and Ian Dennis will bring you that 7 o'clock kickoff at the 974 Stadium. A penalty shootout about to get underway at the Al Janoub between Japan and Croatia. Peter Schmeichel and Alistair Bruce Ball.
Referee chatting to both goalkeepers. Lovely moment between the pair of them as they both made their way towards that goal, away to our left-hand side. Loads and loads of Japanese fans behind it. Big hug between Dominik Livakovic and Shuichi Gonda. So the little stat was team going second has won the last 6 at the World Cup. In this shootout, that will be Croatia. They won both their penalty shootouts in Russia 4 years ago against Denmark, and then the host Russia. Japan have lost their only one in the World Cup. Minamino will be first to go for Japan. He's going to have a short run. He's got his hands on his hips. He's waiting for the whistle. Here he comes, Minamino with the right foot. Livakovic saves, and Croatia strike first. He guessed the right way. He went low to his left, And Minamino misses Japan's first penalty. Peter Schmeichel.
Yeah, it wasn't a great penalty. In all fairness, it wasn't a great penalty. It was only like sort of 2-3 yards from the centre of the goal, and kind of showed the goalkeeper where to go as well. So now Croatia just have to score on the 5 penalties they have now, and that stat
easy as that
is still going on.
Right, Japanese fans jeering, booing, whistling in the red and white checks of Croatia. It's Nikola Vlasic with his right foot. What a penalty! Powers it home. Gonda went the right way. You're not stopping that one. Croatia lead 1-0.
That was a perfect penalty. What I think you have to do in these kind of situations as a taker, just pick your spot and then hit it with pace. And Vlasic, he did that now. Great penalty.
Peter Schmeichel has been here before, of course, in the national colours of Denmark at major tournaments. Mitoma, pressure on the Brighton winger, the number 9 for Japan. Strokes, oh, that's saved as well! Livakovic, the hero for Croatia. He saved the first 2. The first one away to his left, and the second one low to his right, denies Mitoma, and Japan in real trouble.
Well, that was not a bad penalty, but an incredible save. Down very, very low to his right, and he just got a hand to that. A strong hand. The ball went back into the pitch, not past the post. That was a really, really good save. And that's that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Could play out again. Big chance here for Marcelo Brozovic. Down the middle. Gonda went to his right. Croatia taking control of this penalty shootout. Japan have missed their first 2, and Croatia have stuck their 2 away.
And because you've reminded me of the penalty shootout against Denmark 4 years ago, in that penalty shootout, Denmark missed 3 penalties. Japan has missed 2 penalties now, so that could go pretty much the same way.
Asano, Takuma Asano, is the next to take. If he were to miss, Croatia would only need to score their next one. He's taking some very deliberate big strides backwards. Running on the spot, comes towards the ball. Asano, good penalty. Livakovic this time goes the wrong way, and Japan are off the mark. They're still in it.
The standards that you're setting, the Kanovic in there, you know, he should be saving that, shouldn't he? That's terrible not saving that. It was a good penalty, and it'll settle down the Japanese players a little bit. And also the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper will feel, as soon as that first one is saved, the goalkeeper will feel pressure. I need to save one. He doesn't need to save one. He needs to save 2 now.
Yeah, 2-1 Croatia. Croatia have only taken 2. Japan have taken 3. Chance here for Levaya. Short run at the ball. Oh, it's casual. It's hit the post. Levaya went casually, walked towards the ball. Gonda went the right way, and he might just have let Japan back into this.
Lifeline, but what a poor penalty. What an arrogant way to take a penalty. And you know, you have a responsibility for your teammates, for your coach, for the staff, your fans, everyone back in Croatia. You got to do better than that. That was casual and a little bit too arrogant for my liking.
So Japan and Croatia have taken 3 penalties apiece, playing for a place in the quarter-finals. Croatia lead 2-1. Japanese skipper Maya Yoshida with his right foot. Oh, saved again!
Oh my God.
Livakovic low to his right, celebrates with both arms in the air. He has saved 3 of Japan's 4 penalties, and now the chance for Mario Pasalic to step forward for Croatia and book them a place in the quarter-finals. Pasalic striding forward towards the penalty spot. What a performance from Dominik Livakovic. Yoshida can barely look up as he drags himself back to the halfway line. This is the moment. This for a place in the quarter-finals. Deep breath from Pasalic. Runs at the ball with his right foot, buries it, and that is it. Japan have had a sensational World Cup, but they're out, beaten on penalties by the finalists 4 years ago, Croatia. They won 2 shootouts on their way to the final in Russia, and they've done it again. So grateful to brilliant goalkeeping from Dominik Livakovic, and now the Croatian players in a giant group hug celebrate a quarter-final against either Brazil or South Korea, and the commiserations left to Japan in the centre circle. When it came to it, when it came to the crunch, Peter Schmeichel, they just didn't take very good penalties, Japan.
No, well, I have to say the first one wasn't a great penalty. The other two they missed were really, really good saves, and there's a big difference between that. So in a way, it was 1-1 and very poorly taken penalties. But the difference was Livakovic. What a performance by him. The two saves, unbelievable. And he, of course, is a Croatian hero in this game. But I have to say, the tactics of taking it to the penalty shootout, it's brave, but it works for them, doesn't it?
So the stat remains the same, Peter. Now that's 7 in a row at the World Cup. Team going second has won it. Croatia have won all 3 of their World Cup penalty shootouts. Modric wasn't on the field to take one, nor was Kovacic. They got the job done. And Kelly, Livakovic, incredible. Saves from Minamino, Mitoma and Yoshida. And it's Mario Pasalic whose penalty has taken Croatia through to a quarter-final against the winners of tonight's commentary between Brazil and South Korea. What a tournament, though, Kelly, Japan have had.
Japan have had a fantastic tournament, but they are out of this World Cup. There are tears from the supporters in the stand. We've seen tears of joy from the Japan supporters before in this tournament, but tonight it is tears of sadness as they exit the World Cup 2022. Pasalic with the winning penalty for Croatia, but Livakovic was the absolute hero for Croatia with 3 penalty saves in that match. Peter, as you said, it's a brave tactic from Croatia to go and try and push for penalties towards the end of that game. They did have opportunities to take the game, not just within 120 minutes, but within 90. What they've shown in this game against Japan is they're not necessarily going to, carve any sort of swathe through any defence that they come up against. But whether it's Brazil or South Korea in the next round, they're going to have a tough game against Croatia.
Yeah, they absolutely is. It's a stubborn team, there's no doubt about that. But it's also a team that doesn't, I don't feel that they took the opportunities that were there for them today. And I'm just thinking about how Brazil has been playing and what they're doing and the players they have. I'm just thinking about that, and I'm not sure that Croatia, if it's Brazil, that Croatia have many chances against them. I think Brazil is far too superior. And, fair dues to Croatia. They've gone through, but they've done it on the narrowest margins. Not on open play.
Lovely image on the pitch at the moment, Kelly, because the Croatian players actually respectfully are celebrating in a slightly subdued fashion because they're going past the centre circle where the Japanese entire squad are in a circle and the manager is giving a rousing speech in there, Hajime Moriyasu. Amazing wins in this tournament against Germany and Spain, taking the lead as well in this game, playing for a place in the quarterfinals for the very first time, and they fell short right at the end, but they have brought incredible joy.
I think they can travel back to Japan with their heads held high, with a lot of proudness and honor. It is a very, very powerful image now to sit here and watch everyone, the staff, the players surrounding the manager, and you can just see that, we can't obviously hear what he say, but you can just see that he's clapping at them, probably saying you've done really well, you've got nothing to be embarrassed about, and yes, we took it to a penalty shootout, and anything can happen in a penalty shootout. It's a terrible way to lose a game. I've actually had a similar experience, actually a worse experience that they've had. I was in a penalty shootout in a European Cup game, and we missed the first 3 penalties, and they scored in the first 3 penalties. And it's very, very difficult to get away from that thought that you failed. But at the end of the day, you took the game all the way to there. I think it's been a fantastic performance to beat Germany, and to beat Germany in the way they did it. To beat Spain, where they needed to beat Spain, they absolutely needed to beat Spain to come. Spain, who had played so well up until then, that is a fantastic performance, and they've got to be so proud of what they've done. And as I say, travel back to Japan, heads held high. They've lost to a team that once it goes to penalty shootout, they win.
Croatia just assembling together for a team photo, a very raggedy, casual team photo with players and backroom staff with their arms held aloft as they celebrate their progress to the quarterfinals of this World Cup at the expense of Japan, where they stand in front of their supporters behind the goal, applauding them, but all of them looking deeply upset at their exit from this competition. But as the guys have said, as Ali and Peter have said, they've had a fantastic tournament so far with wins against Germany and Spain, and they just couldn't take that final step to get into the quarterfinals. So it's finished. Japan won, Croatia won after 120 minutes. Croatia advanced on penalties. Thank you very much to Peter Schmeichel and to Alistair Bruce-Ball for their company. The 7 o'clock kickoff is at the 974 Stadium. It's Brazil against South Korea, and they know that the winner of that game will face Croatia in the quarterfinals. Coming up next, it's a roundup of all the day's news with Tony Livesey.